You know, Si, believe it or not, I used to be a toy channel.
Did you?
It's hard to believe that. They used to read time back in the day when Shabby loved toys, and you see behind me how much I like toys. But somewhere along the Shabby Geek, lifespan of social media, we went to gravy and
It's
socks.
always. And
We went
shaving
to
your armpits.
went to shaving armpits, Matt naked in his garden, and that kind of thing. So I thought tonight, what I might do is there's been a lot of stuff out tonight, and I've been watching a couple of streams and videos, and obviously Comic Con's been. And so what me and Si did tonight was we picked a couple of things just over the past month, basically, what we like and what's come out that we think, oh yeah, that looks cool. And we're gonna have a debate and we're gonna have a chat about the Haslabs and obviously the Snake Lair that's coming from Mattel. And there's a few things that Si's picked out, and there's a few things that I've picked out. So, I thought we'll have a good chat about it because there has been some cool stuff out, hasn't there, Si?
I think so. It's not really been it's been a bit of a deflating Comic Con for me. Normally Comic Cons come out with something that blows the roof off, and for me it hasn't done this year. But yeah, there was some releases of some great stuff. There really was.
Yeah, we weren't going to do anything, but because of the bit of a technical fiasco on Monday.
What you get when you get the dark side on, you get the dark side on.
Get the dark side
interference.
But it seems to be working all right tonight. But I must apologise to Simon, to Palps, to everybody that watched on Monday. I couldn't work it out. I don't know what it was, but I don't think it was us, because I think it must have been something to do with actually StreamYard connecting to YouTube, because my internet and we were coming out fine. It wasn't until all the chat said something that we realised, didn't we? And then you watched it back, didn't you, Simon? You watched it back.
Yeah, Claire come downstairs and said, "Look at this footage." She went, "This is shocking," and it was shocking. It was.
Wow.
But I didn't see it. You didn't. Palps didn't.
So I apologise to everybody about that on Monday, but let's hope tonight works just as good. Hiya, Gerard. Hiya, pal. Nice to see you. Our Des is here. Hiya, Des. G-Force is here. Hiya, G-Force. Good old James is here. Hi, everyone. Where is the 5-foot action figure? Can I ask you a question just between me and you, and nobody else is here, right? Just a question, because you are, I do love you. You are my twin brother, and I love you very much. It's a bit weird, this 5'4" doll thing, isn't it? And what I find weird.
This is what I told you lot. You lot are the ones that keeps telling me it's a sex doll.
It is.
And from the very beginning, I've said it's a 5'4" action figure, and I'll only buy one if they make one I really want. Do you think Claire's going to come home and catch me fingering my doll?
Well, I don't know, Si. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think so. I'm just like one of them that some people like full-size things. Like, take Keith Guffey for instance. Look at his full-size things in his house, and I've had full-size things before, and I just like that full-size look in your room. I've always have done, and I've got a lot of anime stuff, and I think, get a chair, like put that in front of all my anime collection. It's like the big one. There's a lot of silicone dolls I've got. Do you know what I mean? But they're all 12-inch, and they're all. I'm digging this deeper.
Yeah, shut up, Si. You're digging it a lot deeper. Hi, DTM. So he says, I just hope you recover. Oh, yeah. Did you see DTM's burger he had this morning? Like 5.
Well, I didn't believe it, right? Because I said, that's not a burger. Why is he eating burgers at that time in the morning? But then I realised it's not a burger. It was like a DTM special of a McMuffin. You know, when you get your egg and sausage McMuffins at McDonald's, that's what it was.
And he must have put them all together.
Yeah, it's that big. Why are Dave's burgers always that big?
I know, good lad. Brilliant. Hi, Jonathan. Good old John O's here. Yeah, that was a breakfast starter. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was massive. Hey, Kieran, nice to see you, pal. Hello, Keith. Lovely to see you, buddy. Everybody's turned up. Good old Tony's easy. Hi, Tony. Nice to see you, pal. And we're going to have a nice chat tonight. And obviously, at Shabby's, we include all the chat. So, your opinions and your points and everything else, they're all going to be put up and they're all going to be valid. So we're going to have a good chat tonight just to see what there is and what's about. Hi, Miriam. Nice to see you.
Miriam.
Wow, Cat Knight's here as well. I've been watching Cat Knight's little do's, and congratulations. She's done so well over the past month with her work and graduating and so forth. So congratulations, Kat. That's awesome of you.
Top draw, Kat. Top draw.
She is. Yeah, she is top draw. John Maguire. Hello, Johnny boy. Good to see you, pal. Jason's here. Hey, Jason. Over 30 in the chat already. Funny you should mention that. Si says, "Oh, Mr. Edmund, this is the first San Diego Comic Con in years where I've spent €0." And that's again we're going to talk about. You were a bit let down, weren't you, Si? You said
it wasn't that let down. It was deflating. It's like it got to all the like for the vast majority, we're watching Comic Con, and the most majority of everybody in this community watches the toy sections and what they're bringing out. But there doesn't seem to be like hardly anything that's like new or coming out. It was things we've seen before, and I buyed one or two things. It wasn't like explosion like there normally is at Comic Con of loads. Like normally for a 4-day event, you get something each day, and on the Saturday or the Sunday, there's something massive. But this time round, for me, in my opinion, I was like, there wasn't.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll have a good chat about it. Regarding Monday night, Shabby, I thought you were going to go old school, reminded us how shit you internet used to be. Hello. And I think that's what upset me a bit, because I'd worked so hard to get internet up and running and everything else. But I checked everything. And when I went off on Monday, if you remember, I said to Si and Palps, you just wait there a minute. I went off and I ran around the house. Well, I didn't run around the house. I just walked around the house, basically, making sure. And everything was. So I don't know. It must have just been a glitch. Claire Purcell's got a nice statement there.
Battlestar 2025.
Hiya, pals. Good to see you. Jeepo says, I've been slowly pulling away from modern. Between prices going up and the lack of accessories, they aren't doing it for me anymore. Vintage has been filling the void. And that's another thing we're going to talk about tonight, because I've noticed this as well. There's a few people going back and forth and so forth. To me, there's no difference. I've always said, it doesn't matter to me whether it's vintage or modern. If I like it and I really like it, then I'm going to buy it. To be fair, Claire would be released if I'm not reading that. We all know Ghost of the Shell is the peak of anime. Nice. You like Ghost of the Shell, don't you, Si?
Yeah, Ghost of he's wrong. It's Cowboy Bebop, but yeah, Ghost of the Shell's up there.
Evening, Shabby. Hello, Martin. Nice to see you, buddy.
Oh,
it was a homemade McMuffin, well spotted, Si. 4 parties in one.
Thank you, Dave. I'm a fat lad. I study burgers, and I noticed that wasn't a burger. That was like a breakfast McMuffin, but Helen style. But like, do you know what? If I lived with Helen, I'd be massive. With her burgers and her dinners and the things that she makes, I'd be like 28 stone or something.
The thing is, the food one thing, but she's just lovely, isn't she? The lovely Helen. Do you know what I mean? Imagine living it.
Jammy sod.
Imagine living at D-Tim and Helen's.
Oh, I'd love it, yeah. You'd be well looked after, wouldn't you?
I know, but then you'd be sick through laughing all the time. You just laugh.
Yeah, but also remember the Yorkshire people. So when it comes to night time, they'd be putting their head round your door asking if you were tucked in and stuff, and do you want another brew or something? Yeah. So yeah, I would like to live there, yeah.
I'm getting my niceties into Catherine and Keith tonight, because Everton play West Ham tonight, 6:30 my time. So it's 11:30 your time in a friendly in Chicago. So that'll be...
West Ham was shitting.
Yeah. Hit that like button, you Muppets. Yeah, I just watched your boys against the Japanese champions. Yeah, that was a good game. I watched it. Hiya, Nikki. Good old retro bunkers here. Oh wow, thank you all for turning up. This is really nice of you all. Really nice.
No, that's weird that he pops up there, because I watched his video yesterday, and it was the one where he's gone into this toy fair, and this guy's giving this Dick Tracy watch, right?
Right.
And it's like this lovely, like, it's like, I don't know if it's like an envelope box or whatever it was, but it's the Dick Tracy watch. It was really, really nice. And then later on that night, last night, after I watched it, there was a documentary come up about Dick Tracy on YouTube about how much problems it had and what it went through. And it really suffered because of Batman 89. And it was really interesting. Just thought I'd tell you. Watch it. It's good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I found him, Si.
Did you know what? Warren Beat was 55 when he played Dick Tracy.
No, I didn't know that. He's handsome boy, though, wasn't he? Could, yeah.
25, though, and they said that was mainly the problem, really. They should have gone for a younger Dick Tracy, especially like with Madonna and everything, his Breathless Mahoney. But I never knew he was 55 in that.
I always like that. I always put the Dick Tracy stuff and then the merchandise in when I do with the Batman, because it was roughly around the same time, wasn't it? The Batman 89. And I think Tracy was 90, wasn't it? Dick Tracy.
90, year after year.
And he threw loads of merchandise. It's funny because I went out with Scuba and Leslie and I found those Ertl Dick Tracy, and they're a mint on card. They're only $5 each, those cars. I have and for those that don't know, I have another Instagram. I have Instagram where I put all the Shabby Geek stuff, the dancing and the singing, and obviously Tub Thumpers and said I saw that kind of thing. But I have another one called Shabby's Toy Room. Unfortunately, I was trying to find it just a minute ago, and I can't switch it to that. And on there's a picture of these Dick Tracy cars. And yeah, I thought they were cool. But when was the last time you saw that movie, Dick Tracy? Probably 20 years for me, 25 years.
Oh God, yeah, like I said, it's one of. But do you know what? When in this documentary, it showed you like how they put it together, and they want it to look like a proper comic book, and they only used 6 colors. That was it. The whole film's just 6 colors, no more, no less, and every color is exactly the same. So if he's got a red cap on, the kid, and he's sat there and something else is red, it's exactly the same color red, the same color green. And when you go back and look at it, it's so aesthetically clever.
Yeah,
that film was shot, and it did win 2 Oscars for that set design and light design. You know, so
I liked
again,
it.
like you, pal, I couldn't tell. I can't remember anything about it.
I might watch it. You know what? I might just watch it sometime this week and have a look at it. G4 said, I thought there was enough for me to spend on San Diego Comic Con. Jay, you're bringing in Scooby Doo and Street Fighters. Yeah, we're going to go through all of them. I've got loads of pictures to show tonight. What you'll have to do, Si, being an admin on this StreamYard, is when you see if people ever do come in at the bottom, just tell me, because I won't be on the screen. I'll be behind the screen. Do you see what I mean?
I might have a joke with myself and leave them there and see how long they can sit there for. That's what you think about.
Connor says, I honestly think we should all move into DTM and Ellens.
Yeah, that's a good idea, that.
You know, when DTM say he was moving in with everybody else last week, I think we should all move in with DTM. I think that would be awesome. Yeah, I'd do that. So BOE's here. Let me just get down here a bit. Here we go. Oh dear, West Ham playing. I'm going to bed after I can't take it.
Oh, don't worry, Cat. We're playing Everton, so he'll have a good night tonight, Keith. He'll have a celebration with 4-0 West Ham.
Delvian's here. Wow, loads of people. Thanks for this, because it was just an impromptu thing that me and Si wanted to do. That we talked about yesterday and put it up. So I appreciate everybody coming in and doing that. So BOE saying hello, everybody. That was me with the Dick Tracy watch. What a great surprise. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I like your videos. We both like them, don't we, Size? Adam told us about you. Adam said, oh, yeah, this is this fella. You'll really like him, Shabs and Size. So we've watched him. We both subbed. Yeah, we like your videos, mate. I think you do a good job. I like that, and especially for somebody like me, and I've always said it to all the English and the Irish lads that do the videos, is because you'll show stuff and you'll go to these British toy fairs that I, obviously being in the States, I can't go to anymore. And there is a massive difference, even though we do these toy fairs, you know, regardless of the size. I don't care if one's a massive convention, one's small. It's so different, Si. Do you see what I mean? There's so many things that we had in England that were big in England that you'll find prominently more over there that you won't find over here, and vice versa. You know, I've
noticed that with some of the boys that are going over to these toy fairs in America, and the sort of things that they're looking for, and the sort of price difference there is over the pond. And there is quite a difference, isn't it? Really, what sometimes the Americans would make a big fuss for, we don't tend to necessarily. And the same vice versa, do you know what I mean? And
yes, sir.
I don't know how Action Force is in America, but over here, I mean, you can still pick up Action Force and G.I. Joe at reasonable prices.
When that guy turned up with the Action Force, he came last year, but this year it was like, it felt bigger, and there was 2 vendors with Action Force. I know, wow. I mean, for somebody like me who loved it as a kid, but obviously, you know, as you grow older, I came out of Action Force and so forth. To buy an Action Force figure in the States, I thought that was awesome. Do you know, I bought the SAS one fully complete. It was about $15, and I thought, wow, what a great, and Andy had sent me a couple too. Andy had some in a lot that he sent me, but it was just nice to see that over here. Do you see what I mean, Simon? It was nice to see a British thing, if you will. Palp says, doesn't Warren Beatty still hold the rights? He makes a show every year to keep hold of him.
Well, that was the thing. He still owns the rights to this day. In 2027, it goes in the public domain. But he still owns the rights to this day. And every time, because people thought his vision was to have a few Dick Tracys, make them like the Batman films.
Yeah.
Well, the first one didn't do well at all, really. It didn't like anything up. So instead of giving the rights back or giving the rights up, he just made little silly documentaries where he's talking to himself or he's talking to a film critic. And he's like a dead old man as Dick Tracy. It was really weird. But I agree. Kieran says it as well. He had to be Warren Beatty's. He owned the rights. But I think Kieran, he kept that close to his heart as well. Like he thought that was his bit of James Bond, I think.
Thank you,
Connor. To it.
So Connor's just put, I appreciate that, Connor. I really do, because my thumbs up my backside. I forgot to do it. So that's my toy room one. If you want to, so in other words, if you always see behind me, you say, Shabby never does bloody videos of his toys, whatever. I do have an Instagram channel full of my toys. So if you ever want to have a look and see what I've got, it's right there. I appreciate that, Connor. Thank you, pal. Shabby, I found a Nurtle smoking the. Oh wow, $300. Oh, that again, we're going to talk about prices too, but that sounds awesome. Hiya, Baz. Nice to see you, Baz. Good old Baz. Yeah, wow, loads of people. Let's have a look. Cheers for the support. No, thank you for supporting us, and that's what it's all about, my friend. You know, I try and support as many people as I can and get people on. You know, same as what the CSR lads do, and we try our hardest to keep everybody in the in the mix, if you will. Pixel Dan is doing some UK, but yeah, and I've watched him. He's doing all right. I saw him at Leicester. Yeah, well, I think he's back now, but he did go over there. Yeah, and he's found some good stuff. Hi, Georgie. Nice to see you, pal.
Georgie,
I've only seen Dick. I think I've only seen it the once. I think I'm the same.
Well, I did what you did, and like Dave just said, after watching that last night and everything, I thought, I'm going to watch this film. I am going to watch it again. I'm going to watch it with the different eyes and stuff. And because how old were we, Mark, in 1990? 15. Yeah. So, and I've never seen it since, I don't think. So I am going to watch it again just to see what we were trying to get at. Yeah.
It's funny, and the reason I say it's funny because it's not, when we talk about pop culture, I found a brilliant documentary, but it's brand new on YouTube last night, and it's called The Greatest Year of Geekdom is 1982. And I'm going to put a link for that in the Autobots group and share it all with you. It's a fantastic documentary, but it's funny how 82 had all these brilliant stuff, but so did the 90s, I think. Late 80s, early 90s, it got into it. But it's funny because when we talk about films like that, we never bring up Dick Tracy. Is it because it's just a one-off movie, do you think? I wonder why we never did it flop. Did it do well? Do you remember?
All I know is that it went over budget, it went over time. Warren Beatty had full rights whatsoever, but they left him to it at the time. I think he was so adamant he was going to have it like, this big success and this big franchise.
Yeah.
But again, I can't, Mark, give any more justification than that because I have not watched it in years. And I know about the little kid and I know about the sweetheart that's in it and stuff. And I remember all them visions.
Madonna's in it, right? It's Madonna,
Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman.
No, it's Al Pacino, I think. It's not Robert De Niro, it's Al Pacino. Sorry.
Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Paulie from Goodfellas, he was in it.
Wow.
It's quite a big cast, and even James Caan. And he said that when you go back to the film now, if you've not seen it for a while, you'll be gobsmacked at the amount of cameos that are in this movie. That anyone that pops in is a really famous cameo. But then I thought, well, it's Warren Beatty. At that time, he was like the king of Hollywood, wasn't he? Like he was.
You forget that. I agree with that.
You're not going to tell the Beatties, no, are you? I mean, Shirley MacLaine and stuff. And
no, that's a good point, Si. Yeah, because we were like, 2025. Warren Beatty, what I suppose back then. Do you know what I mean? He was dating Madonna too, wasn't he? Oh my God, we've turned into entertainment.
He was, but he didn't last long. But apparently, every single movie he's made, he's fell in love with the leading lady. Every single one. Well, he's Warren Beatty, though, isn't he? Let's be fair.
I do that on the stream side, fall in love with Pal. 0 Toys. DTM. Connor, please don't put the link up for Si's OnlyFans channel. Why? Si's OnlyFans channel is awesome.
Loads of shit happens.
Loads of stuff, yeah. Everyone that hits a like button earns Shabby's affection. Thanks. Cheers, pal. That's really nice of you. Great film, Dick Tracy, and even better toys with a gift card on it. I like the toys. I like the yellow on it. It's like, well, and you just said something I never knew about the primary colours and all. I never knew that, Si. But it's always a red, black, and yellow, isn't it?
I will give him every credit. His vision was stick as close to the comics as we can, stick as close to that newspaper strip as we can. And he did, and I will give him credit for that. But then again, it also shows that sometimes if you do things that are exactly the same and are more for the comic side than they are the film audience, it can go a bit wide, can't it? You can understand it why they say, well, we based some of it off the comics, but not all of it. Like you sort of get it, don't you?
The recent Mezco Dick Tracy toys sold out crazy fast, Mr. Edmonds says. So definitely a demand for that IP. I think so. I think it's I'll give you an example. I've never had anything Dick Tracy, like we were talking about Retro Bunker before, and you watch his videos and you see the figures and the cool. And I remember Retro Blasting doing something on Dick Tracy as well a few years back. And they're not that expensive, are they, the Dick Tracy stuff? I mean, I think there's that one that BOE put up before. There's one called the Blank or something, but it's funny because when I went out with, like I say, Scuba and Leslie, and I saw these, and I just thought they're cool. They were mint on card. They were $5 each, and I thought I'll just buy them. And I'm glad I did to take the two because I like the Dick Tracy, the shadowy artwork on it and the big yellow design on it. I thought it was really, really cool. So yeah, Dick Tracy's a great movie. Right, I think we should watch that again. Hi, Stu, nice to see you, pal. I think I only see. It's funny that so the majority of the chat are saying they only really saw it that once or twice, but. Yeah, I'm
But
going
it's
to
like
take a
what
look.
you said, Mark. Why didn't hit the heights of all the other late 80s, early 90s that we talk about? We do talk about all these franchises. I mean, Jurassic Park was only, what, 2, 3, 4 years later than Dick Tracy was. And you talk about that a lot to this day. And Dick Tracy, just one of them films that just seems to, I wouldn't say it doesn't deserve it, but it just seems to have skipped it, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's not spoken about.
Yeah, good point, that side. It was like it was here 1 minute and gone the next, wasn't it, to tell you the truth?
Yeah.
Dick Tracy actually won 3 Academy Awards, says Kieran. He started with Black Panther for the Academy wins. Oh, thanks, Kieran, for letting us know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, so everyone say hello to each other. Travels with Jason said he thinks I've seen it about 4 times. So that's not bad at all. First thing I want to show you, Si, is this. And I was absolutely, these blew me away. Now, again, this goes to the Dick Tracy things. So I've never had these before. The only thing I've ever had for this line of toys was a green monster with 4 arms when we were kids, right? But then I saw these at Comic-Con. What did you think of these?
Oh, the Factory Entertainment Battlestar Galactica set. Absolutely amazing. And do you know what? I've been on their site every day since looking at this, and there's nothing up yet, nothing at all.
No.
So there's no price for me. I don't know, how easy they are going to be to get, but I think if you're my age and you're a bit older, that is just as iconic as, I'll say it, the X-Wing. Do you know what I mean? It just is. I think that is a set that's going to pull a lot of us in.
I've never heard of Factory Entertainment, and I've got the website up so we can have a look. They've made everything from Masters Universe to 007.
Yeah, we've seen the big He-Man swords, and
if you look above this picture at the very top side, you can see She-Ra's sword there.
And that there it is your own doll right there on the next shelf.
There it is. So when I pulled this picture off the internet, I was looking, oh my life, there's a She-Ra thing right there. But they've made quite a few.
It is.
But I mean, I would say it's not as prominent as an X-Wing, but it's just as iconic to us.
That's my point. It's iconic. I mean, if people walk in your house and they see your X-Wing models, but they'd also know what that was if you looked at that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if you watched the A-Team and you watched all these shows as a kid, Magnum and Knight Rider, you did watch Battlestar Galactica. Now, I can't tell any lies. As far as New Galactica went, never watched it. But I do remember that you and me and my brothers would watch this Battlestar Galactica a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Katie Sackhoff one and all that.
No idea, Mark. No.
These I do remember. The funniest thing is I read a statement of Factory Entertainment too. He said that these actually are just prototypes. They're just having a look at it. And then, so when we actually, they didn't realize the response that they got from Comic-Con. Apparently the response was massive for this. And so
believe it.
So when the stuff does eventually come out, they're going to be upgraded. So they're going to have some tweaks and this and that and so forth. But I mean, look at that. That Apollo is, I think, if you're going to upgrade that, brilliant. But I think it looks great, just like an O-ring.
So what are you thinking there, price-wise?
Oh, I don't
Especially
know,
when you throw that new Haslab in. So let's throw that Haslab in at the moment for what's $450. What do you think that is going to be price-wise?
It depends on what it's going to be. Like I said, I'm not going to make it out like I know anything about Factory Entertainment. Is this going to be a crowdfund or is this going in stores? Because I can't think of anything I've seen.
Like I said, I've been on their website every day since, and there's no information, none.
That's double.
So quality, isn't it? Yeah, it really is.
And they've made a life-size helmet as well, which is pretty cool. But
as you can see by Travels with Jason avatar, he wears that helmet. So I'm going to get a custom Travels with Jason figure made and stick that helmet on it.
There's Boomer. I just think these are really cool looking.
Yeah, they are.
It's funny, isn't it, Simon? You say to yourself every week, I'm not going to get into another line. I'm not going to start something. Stuff like this.
I'm not going to get that same skin. Oh, we've seen that new Battlestar Galactica. Now, this was, for me, was the only letdown, Mark. It's the only letdown.
Right.
Me and DTM, we went to Liverpool Comic Con a few weeks back, and there's a gold Cylon walking around. And honestly, it was one of the coolest sights you can see outside of a Stormtrooper. And it's all chrome. And then that was my point with the Cylons. What made him just as cool, they're not as cool. But it was the chrome armor. They looked absolutely mint with the Knight Rider visor going non-stop. Yeah. And when I saw them new figures and they start doing that with it again instead of using that chrome, it really deflates me.
But again, again, just got to go back to what I said before, so that they put a statement out saying that these are going to be upgraded. These are just prototypes to see what the response was. So you never know, because I agree with you, Simon. There's certain toy lines like like Silverhawks or maybe a few mask pieces or trans that need that chrome vac, and this is one of them.
C3PO especially, C3PO especially.
Exactly right.
I used to collect so many C3PO stuff, me, and yet when I started to see the Black Series and the other ones and what Hasbro were doing, it's just that painted yellow. It's not C3PO to me. It just isn't. So I've got to see a chrome one.
So we'll see. You never know. These might go into the chrome vac. You never know. They might just do that for these, but they're absolutely awesome. But you are right. I mean, I think a Cylon has to be chrome vac done. It definitely.
Yeah.
This is the 12-inch versions that they're doing. And obviously, I don't collect 12-inch, but I just wanted to include this picture because I just think they're as good as Hot Toys, aren't they? They really are.
The thing is with that 12-inch version, it's that's where I can easily pass on them. So if the figures and the Viper are expensive, it's not going to be justified because these I can pass on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where normally, flip side of it, it'd be the 12-inch that I'd be more interested in. Yeah. But I think with that little set, it just looks perfect, doesn't it? So I'm not really that bothered about the 12-inch ones.
Here we go. Yeah, I'll be after some Viper and some Cylons. Great stuff on display. I was blown away by it. And it's funny that because, again, Battlestar Galactica, because I put like Dick Tracy, we talk about it, and I know there's a couple of lads, you know, Jason likes it, Scuba likes it. I know Jeff Barker collects Battlestar, but, you know, you don't really see that much about it. So I think adding a new, and the way they've gone for a vintage toy line as well, because if you saw those 12-inch figures, I think the figure at the back, again, I'm not a massive Battlestar Galactica fan in the recent series. He's a part of the new ones, isn't he? The 2000s ones. So I don't know whether they're going to do what Playmates did with Star Trek and introduce all areas of Battlestar Galactica, but they started off with the vintage, which is really cool.
Listen, I suppose it's like everything. If it takes off and it sells out, it's gone really well, they'll probably look into that. It's like everything else. If they don't and they dribble and they're not done very well on it, I can't see it. But I suppose it's like everything. If you've got a license for something and it makes a success of what you've been making, carry it on. Fans will buy it if they've been buying it.
Jonathan Redmond said, didn't Ralph McCrory design the Battlestar Galactica shipping outfits? I'm not sure if he designed the shipping outfits. I do know that he did some of the artwork. So whether they took it off the artwork, John, I'm not sure. But I know that I think the Viper and all that was just drawn by Ralph McCrory. But whether I knew he designed it or not, I have absolutely.
Well, let me ask you. There's always this thing about Battlestar Galactica and Star Wars, and you know the rivalry between them, and then the suing, and then ILMOing them, and all that business with the history. Yeah. But do you think we like Battlestar Galactica because it was like Star Wars? Because it was something you could watch on your TV once a week, and it felt like Star Wars. You know, Starbuck and Apollo felt like Han and Luke. It felt like they were on adventures. They did have cool ships and stuff. And I think sometimes if it didn't have that Star Wars element, maybe we wouldn't have took to it like we did as kids.
Yeah, that's a good point, that, Si. I'm currently rewatching Battlestar on Prime and it still holds up, says Connor. Yeah, I like it. I just remember the music and the Pegasus and, you know what I mean, and Apollo. And what was the dog thing called? What was it called? Gambit or Damn It, something. I remember the dog.
Yeah, Gromit, something.
Yeah, something like that. Delvin says, yeah, I think he did, Jonathan. Yeah, I remember him doing the artwork for it, Delves and Jono, but I couldn't tell you. Like I said, I'm not going to BS anybody. I don't know whether he designed it or not. Martin says the new Battlestar Galactica was one of my top favorite shows. The original will always have a special place in my heart, and watched the TV show over and as a kid. Was it the one that Katie Sackhoff was Starbuck in it? I know she played one of the main two. I've always liked her. She's great in everything.
Yeah.
So, there you go. What Martin said, brilliant. I got a feeling it'll be about 40 quid each, and the Viper sadly 150 to 200. Will it though? Because will it have the same pull as a Star Wars vehicle? What do you think, Si?
Maybe not, but in today's fashion, it's going to be 150 to 200 quid, and I won't be surprised if it was any more than that. If you're now paying 300 for snake layers and you're paying 450 for gunships, don't expect that Viper to be cheap because it's not going to be. So I think the only issue we have is it going to be 200 quid? Is it going to be 500 quid? That's the only issue, really. Do them figures come with it? Is it all come as one big package? Do you have to buy them separately? Because sometimes before you know it, what turns into 500 quid turns into 800 quid. You know what I mean? You've got to be careful.
I think that's,
So
I think you're right in a way there, because it's like I say, Star Wars will have the pull, but we're always like, oh, that's a bit pricey, or that's a bit too much. Will Battlestar Galactica do, especially when it's not been made like this for years? I don't know, but I don't know anything about this factory entertainment, so I don't know whether it's high scale end or how they do it, how it's, if it's crowdfunding or if it's online, maybe, but if it's retail, I'm not sure.
Even though that's a prototype, it seems to have a lot thrown at it. Do you know what I mean? It really does seem to be the biz.
Yeah.
And if that all lights up and stuff, and it ends up with like the lights how it used to do coming out of them tunnels in Battlestar Galactica, and they're on a winner.
Yeah, I think the average, I think GeForce might be onto something here, because the average for stuff is about $12.99 to $20.99 in it for 3/4 inch. If you look at TVC and you look at reaction figures and that kind of thing, it roughly falls into there. So it might be around there. Connor says, Martin, what's Battlestar Galactica and do? Yeah, they are. So the ones I showed Q, they're 3/4 inch, which is kind of cool, because then I went off buying the TVC, and I went more into the 6-inch, but that would be nice to get that, simply because it's not going to be like Star Wars, is it? There's not going to be a sugar load of accessories and vehicles and playsets for Battlestar Galactica, is there? But that, I think, should be that line, because if you're going to buy those figures, you have to get the Viper, don't you? And what was the Cylon ship called? I can't remember, but you're going to have to get them, aren't you? So,
yeah.
But
that wasn't shown or anything, was it? It was just the main figures. But again, like you said, if it sells and it sells well, you could see that sort of stuff coming.
He's so funny, this Luke. Luke says to me, neither Shabby once on his side, I'm not collecting anymore. Stick to it. I was doing my room upside a couple of weeks back, right? And I put the big, I took my sofa out and I took the coffee table out, and I made a big playset right here for all the masters and everything else. And as I'm fixing everything up and I'm putting everything, because I think the majority of us, when you look at people's toy rooms, Simon, they like it nice and neat, whether it's a shop or a museum or whatever, they like it nice. And you say to yourself, don't you, start running that room, that's it. I'm not buying any more lines. I'm sticking with this and I'm sticking with that. But then stuff like that comes out. You're like, well, I'll make room for that. I think, look, there's a space right there.
I hear it every year with the Star Wars lot. Every year, oh, no room left. And then something massive comes out. I can make room for that. Just keep the wife out.
I was meant to get a Battlestar Galactica Warrior done in the 3D of me.
It's people like him I think of there. I look at his avatar and stuff. So he's probably looked at that and gone, oh my God, I have to buy that tomorrow. If there's enough of Jason, it'll do well.
I like the latest version of Battlestar Galactica as well, even though it was unique in its own kind of way. And he says, hope you're all having a great day listening on my drive back on from work. Well, thanks, Jedi Cantina. It's lovely to see you. Hiya, Baz. Nice to see you, Baz. How are you, buddy?
Sorry, I've been away. I've just had a lot of stuff on my mind. And
no problem. It's nice to see you. Thank you, Connor. These are getting dangerously down the rabbit hole. So GeForce is going home. How rude, Chase.
The reason I've got on Shabby is because I'm in the middle of doing a custom.
Right.
And I think you might appreciate it because it's going to be added to a certain line that the both of us do love.
Well, go on then. Let's
I have been putting a lot of pictures on Instagram with it, but...
Oh, yeah, I've been seeing these. These are pretty cool that you've been making, yeah. Yeah, they're awesome.
So now I've just got to work out what colours I'm going to... But it's going to be getting added to the Masters of the Universe.
Brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. And them figures are great for that because you can take them all apart. The heads off and the arms off and do whatever you want.
There's one of his legs.
That's awesome, man. Brilliant. Oh, I can't wait to see when he's finished. Do it Everton Blue, I think. Everton Blue would make a nice colour for that, Baz. What do you reckon, Si?
Yeah, never.
Jonathan says, factory entertainment prices sell all over the map. 8-inch He-Man sword is about 60 quid, but full-size replica is about 600 quid. Right, okay, because like I said, I did go on their website and I've never heard of them before. And some of the stuff that they have in the licenses, but it's really nice. But it's like what Jono said, prices are all over the place. It's either really expensive or a bit cheap and so forth. So we'll see where they are from there.
I did like that full-size Skeletor stuff. That was cool, though. I was like, oh, fancy that.
Yeah, nice. Des says if they're in the same scale as TVC, it'd be nice having them in the cantina diorama. I agree with that too. So
that'd be cool. Yeah, would it? Yeah.
Cantina. Yeah. Majestic Studios released 12-inch Battlestar Galactica figures a few years ago. They are all expensive on the secondary market, especially the silver and gold Cylons. What did you think of those Battlestar Galactica figures, Baz?
Well, the new ones that they're just...
The new ones, yeah.
Well, they were cool.
Yeah. Is it something you'd get into again, Baz, you know, when you saw them?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, they are. So I think a few will say.
Yeah. It's enough of a pull-in, isn't it? You see things like that. It's like an Ecto-1. You know, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Ghostbuster fan on the planet, but you see things like an Ecto-1 and that sort of thing. It pulls you in. You can't help yourself. Do you know what I mean? That's why I've ended up with a Playmobil Ecto-1, Lego Ecto-1, bloody Jada Ecto-1. That's how you end up with them. They pull you in.
BOE's got a few of the Mattel Battlestar Galactica bits. Delvian says 3-pack of those singers with 3 eyes and 2 mouths. Daggett, that was the dog. Daggett, yeah. Shush, Delvian. Simon. What a life-size one. Hey, JT, hey, toy fans, I've got to come clean. I think Battlestar Galactica was a bit shit. Some of the episodes are good, but some of them are. And that's the thing. Do you see what I mean? And so that's why what JT was just saying, like, look at that. And JT immediately, but that's why I don't think I personally, I mean, it's just my opinion, I don't think they'll be as expensive as everybody thinks. I think they'll roughly be around the same price as TVC, because you are going to get people, aren't you, that, you know, it's not got a massive pull like Star Wars or Masters has, or has it, Battlestar Galactica? What do you both think?
I would say probably, I wouldn't say around the same. Star Wars is universal, isn't it? Star Wars. But again, what is Battlestar Galactica around the world? I couldn't tell you. I know that we got these American shows as kids and we absolutely loved them.
JC.
But, you know, there must see some sort of business in it to produce it in the first place, do you know? So,
yeah.
You kind of wonder, I mean, if they're going to do the Battlestar Galactica, that does well, would they do the Buck Rogers?
That's it.
And that's what that was my next question. It's like what you just said, Baz. You know, if this does well and a lot of people buy it, it probably will spawn that. Well, because look at the retro Ghostbusters, Transformers, Star Wars. You know what I mean? Once one does it and it's a success, they all jump on it, don't they? So yeah, maybe speaking back the Star Trek is 3/4 inch instead of the Playmate ones. Who knows? The TVC M1 Starfighter, Q says, was $130 when it came out. So I think the Viper will be about $150 to $180 in my opinion. So a bit more. You think it's going to be a bit more than Star Wars? But it depends. Like I said, I don't know this company and I don't know, you know.
But like I said, Mark, in the freshness of today's market, can you look at that on that shelf and think that's going to be any less than $150? I can't. Do you know what I mean? So really after that, you're just sort of praying that it's not doubling and it's $50 all the time. Let's just hope it's at a nice price where we can get hold of it.
I'm definitely not buying any more Motor Origins. Well, I'm going to talk about Motor Origins in a bit. I've got a few things to say about that. Hiya, Dave. Nice to see you. Vintage Toy Rush has joined us. Wow, we've loads of people have come in. Thank you all so much.
It's funny you bought Motor because I kind of went a little bit daft over the last month and bought some more.
Well, I'm going to talk about it in a bit, and they're really flinging it out. So TVC sold at retail, though. They could only be online sales, which bumps the prices. Yeah, he's got a good point there. The next one I want to talk about is this one. Now, this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which I really, really wanted. It was from Mattel's Creations, but unfortunately, this sold out in seconds, which was this right there. So it's the Hot Wheels Jaws 50th.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. This was pricey though for a Hot Wheels, wasn't it?
It was $32 for it. But the thing about it is, I have never seen. There was this one, and there was the Back to the Future one. It was the white van. It was the white van with the DeLorean coming out of it. That one I was over. Yeah, I'll get that. But this one I really wanted. The problem with it was that the Motu Skelly Shredder, which I did get, came out at the same time as this. The thing about Motu, sometimes it's hit and miss. 1 minute you could back it and it's gone in seconds. The next minute it could be up for a couple of days. So what I want you to do is make sure I got the Motu first, check out that, then go back and buy this. By the time I got the Motu, checked out, went back to get this, it had gone. So we're talking literally 2 or 3 minutes that this sold out. But I just think this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. What do you think of it, Si and Baz?
Again, Hot Wheels is big collecting in it. A lot of people collect Hot Wheels, so to have something like that.
Yeah, so it all bends down sides. You see the way they've done the box, it bends, but they've done it in the old 1975. Look at the way it's done, like an old vintage style.
Yeah.
Talking about Hot Wheels, Shabby, man, I quite like the two Transformer crossover figures that they've done.
Yeah, we'll be looking at them definitely. But that's it, Si. So what do you think to that?
I think it's great. $35 for a Hot Wheels is like, whoa, do you know? I mean, even if you said that was $15, $20, I'm like, that's dear for a Hot Wheels. But I suppose, like I said, if this isn't going to be sold and it's the only way you could pick it up and what the secondary market's like, yeah, I get it.
An inclusivity of it, because obviously it comes with a shark, and I'll show you inside the box in a minute where it's all done in water and so forth. Hopefully, fingers crossed, what I'm thinking is either A, they might do this again, and if they do, I'll jump on it, but B, they might do it in a standard Hot Wheels pack that won't have, you know, the shark, or it won't have the extras and so forth. But the way they've done it, I just thought, I mean, look at that. So this is actually in the box, and see the way it's come out and so forth, and the waves showing, and that's the bottom of the box.
Yeah, you'd never open that box. There'd be no need, is there?
Well, I'm a big Jaws fan. These are the two that I want. These are my two, and they've introduced these two again. So this is Quentin Hoop that they did. There was one that I was missing, which was this one right here that I haven't got yet, which is the scuba diver one. And so he's in the stores now, so I want you to get in. But they've re-released them as so that's what comes with the scuba diver one. I like the accessory because I'm not really a NECA fan, so I've got a couple of them, and G-Force has sent me one, and I got a RoboCop, and I got some of the Dungeons and Dragons ones. But these I really wanted to get. So these are the new ones now that they've done. So in other words, it's not cloth anymore. You can see the way they've done them all plastic, but it's in Jaws 50 packaging. But again, no growth, which is a shame, really, in a way.
Yeah, so it ruins the whole thing for me. I would have bought them way by now, but we're not having the 3. I'm not going to bother.
It is sad in a way, and that's what I wanted to show this for. And obviously the sharks come, and what they've done with the shark bass and Si, they've done it like the old game where you pull stuff out, but that shark is the right, correct size for the figures. Do you see what I mean? But they've done it like a little puzzle game, you know, like a buckaroo kind of thing that you have to take the stuff out of its mouth and so forth.
That's quite cool.
Cool idea.
Yeah, so it's really cool. And that's the box fit, which I think is really, really nice. But the thing about the Brody is they did do a prototype of Brody, which is, I'll show you in a sec. So there's the actual shot with all the accessories. But this is cool because all the accessories are the same scale size for the actual figure size. So you can make a really cool diorama with this if you ever opened it. So that's something I'm definitely going to look at for the shark. But there's the actual prototype of Brody.
That's the thing. Why not released? I don't get it. I mean, if they don't do it, some Chinese company will do it. Do you know what I mean? Like we did with that Tom Cruise figure. They get round it.
I don't know whether it's something to do with the actual licenses of his estate, because the Brody figure looked absolutely fantastic. And obviously they made this pending the license. And I mean, look at the way it came. It obviously came with the glasses, and it came with the chum bucket, and that would have been awesome. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that I would have had all 3, definitely, 100%.
So I'm still fingers crossed. I don't know whether NECA is still carry on pursuing the fact that they can get a Brody. But I mean, I think that's the only problem with this NECA thing that kind of puts me off is the fact that I'd love to have had all 3 of them. And you've just answered my question, Si. You would have got them if they had all 3. Do you see what I mean?
They do it a lot, don't they? Like when McFarlane was doing the 66 line, then it got to making the Yvonne Craig Batgirl. You could not use Yvonne Craig. Her license would not let her likeness out. So they had to do a cartoon Batgirl and get it as close to the actual TV show Batgirl as they could, because Yvonne Craig's house won't let a likeness out. I think it just depends what sort of agent and what you signed in Hollywood, isn't it, at the beginning?
Oh, Hot Wheels Jaws. That's been so. Out of all them though, I think the sharks are definite. I'll get that shark. That's a definite. And obviously the 2. I don't think I'll get the new 50th figure side because I've got them, and I've got them in the cloth as well. So you know what I mean.
The cloth ones are the better ones. I
think so. And I'm never going to take them out of the package when it comes to NECA. Like I said, with me not being a massive NECA fan, Baz and Si, I don't, you know, you hear horror stories, don't you? Oh, NECA breaks too easy, and it's this and it's that. So I'll leave them in the box. So there's really no point.
I don't buy a lot of NECA stuff neither because you hear all the horror stories, but if you find one for a good price and it's something that you have been looking for or something that you like, you will pick it up. The majority of the time, you'll probably end up leaving it in the packaging anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think that Hot Wheels, you will stay in the, you know, and so hopefully it's like Jonathan's just said right there. I hope it will get a full visa. It will come back because they did it with the Barbie. You remember the problem with the She-Ra Barbie, and it sold out in minutes. But they put my teeth back in. Sorry, gents. They redid that now, so you can get it again now. So you can get it again. So fingers crossed. Maybe they just pulled it all out this for San Diego Comic Con. Everyone's rushed to buy it, and hopefully they'll bring it back. Vintage Joy says Orca, the Hot Wheels Orca is too bright for me. Looks like it should be going down the Mississippi. Well, you know, maybe it looks a bit too bright because of the light and so forth, but it would be cool. It would be cool. Yeah, the packaging. It's like I said, it's the packaging for me.
Yeah.
Two iconic collectibles in one, Jaws and Hot Wheels. But it's $32. But obviously, when you incline that there's $8 shipping from Mattel Creations and then tax on that, you're looking over $40 for that. But I like Hot Wheels, and the thing about it, Baz and Si, I only buy the dollar ones. You know, if I find a pop culture, you've seen it right there, all my Hot Wheels, and I think that's just. I'm a big Jaws fan, and I've got like a little thing on my shelf above my mantelpiece of Jaws, and I just think something small, a box that would look nice on it. Do you know what I mean? So would you spend $32 on that, Si and Baz?
I can't say yes or no, because when they re-release them, like they re-released the Corgi 66 Batmobile, and I was definitely going to buy that no matter what price it was. Fortunately, it was the ATM got it me as a present for Christmas. So yes, I probably would. You know, something I really wanted. But what you just said then is perfect, because I don't know about YouTube, but I love buying Hot Wheels because. You know, I'll go around Smith's and I go in B&M's and I go in all these places, and then I'll find a Batmobile that I really want or I haven't got, or it's just and it's £1.50, I think, £1.69. It's nothing. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of my favourite things to collect, because one, it's always great finding a Batmobile when I haven't got one, and two, it's so cheap. I just love it.
I think with the Hot Wheels in there, they're bringing out so many Batmobiles. It's
I've got most of them.
You go to B&M's and there's like 4 or 5 brand new ones, and you're like,
well, what I did with it, I deliberately said that if I pick them up,
check, and then you end up going back up and buying it.
Well, I said the same thing. If I pick them up, all I want is the pop culture ones. So if I find anything pop culture, like from anything from Mario Brothers to Snoopy to Batman, I'll just buy them. Do you see what I mean? Like the DeLorean and whatever. And I've enjoyed doing it, and you are right. JT says, "Oh, now you're talking. It was an exclusive." Yeah, it was. It was a San Diego Comic Con exclusive, and you could only get it, JT, through Mattel Creations. And I'm telling you what, my friend, I've never seen anything so go so fast. Boom, gone. Same as the Back to the Future one. Both of them gone. And so I would say I was in the queue for the Skelly Shredder for about 5 minutes. Checked out, went back. So you're looking at about 5 minutes. They all sold out, my friend. Georgie says that the Hot Wheels Orca is now I bet it is.
Wow, up to that already though.
Look at what they did with the She-Ra doll. So the She-Ra one was the first time that Barbie actually made it. They have done San Diego Comic Cons and She-Ra dolls before, but only through Mattel, not through Barbie. I bought that day. Remember, I sent you a link at night on eBay. It's up to $2,000. But then a week after, they brought it out again. So that's what I'm hoping they'll do with these Hot Wheels. They'll bring them out again. Do you see what I mean? Hi, Adam. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Oh, they're nice. Oh, Kevin sent him a nice gift. That's awesome. Joel's 50th Fisher Price Little People have released a 3-pack featuring Quint, Hoop, and Brody. As far as I know, it's only a toy. It is the only toy Brody available. Yeah, it's a shame that anyway. Well, maybe it's because it's not a likeness for that. It's the character. When it comes with NECA, they do the likeness, don't they? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like I said, I never make it out like I know everything. I just have this funny feeling that there's a problem with the likeness. There must be, because Quint looks exactly like Quint. Hoop looks exactly like Hoop. And you just saw the Brody, it looks just like him, but they didn't make it. So, the short game was a classic. Hot Wheels normally around $30 for the Red Line limited edition versions. Yes, you're exactly right. You have to sign up to be part of it. Yeah, then they get very expensive. It's a massive market, though, isn't it? Hot Wheels, Si and Baz.
It is. It's been going a long, long time as well. I remember watching this documentary. There's some guy in America, and I think he was a NASCAR driver. And I think he made loads of money. He's got all this land, and he had this warehouse, and it's the biggest collection of Hot Wheels. And this guy's collection I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Shane really needs to be the thing. Exactly what our size.
Yeah, that's what's put me off. That's the only thing, Dave, that put me off. I've loved them 2 figures, but without the 3, is there any point, really?
It's like Han, Luke, and Leia, or Indiana and Marion. You can't get one without the other. So or Short Round, for example. But with Jaws, there isn't really, to tell you the truth. I mean, there really is no main character. It's all 3 of them.
Well, let me ask you this question: if them 3 figures were out, which one would you have bought first?
Probably Brody. Or
We
Queen.
all would have bought the Brody figure
Yeah.
first. That's the thing. So
Yeah.
if they do
There
it,
you
I'll
go,
buy
yeah.
all three.
Palp says right here, Roy Schneider's estate pulled it at the last minute, not sure why. Yeah, it's a funny thing that it was his wife, Palp. She pulled out the deal at the last minute, so that, yeah, it was his estate that did it then about the likeness. I don't know, maybe she wanted too much money, or I don't know, something, because the figure looked perfect. Like I've just shown you, the figure looked absolutely perfect. As I understand it, says JT, Roy Schneider's estate just didn't want to sign off on the figures. Weird, I know. Do you not think, Bass and Si? You'd think he'd want to keep it going.
It is, and especially for the 50th anniversary for Jaws, you'd think they looked into that as well. Do you know, it's the love of that film that we've got. I mean, it's the same age as me, Jaws, and it's like, it's surprising that you think they'd want as much out as possible. Do you know, it's how franchises live on, but again, houses are funny, aren't they?
Then again, when with the face likeness, do they want extra money to do it? And then if they give them a and they say, no, I don't want this, I want double that, they're not going to.
I don't know, Baz, because it's like what
Yeah.
John was saying right here, how much Jaws must have already had his face on over the past 50 years. There must be tons of it with his face on. So, yeah. So Hot Wheels, Batmobiles all over the house. Helen is really happy about it.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is a good point. They won't release them again. The Hot Wheels SDCC rarely gets re-released. Oh, that's
do you ever do this, right? Do you know when you go shopping, Dave? Do you do this when you go shopping with Helen? And do you do it, Stu? When you go like shopping with your missuses and you see a Hot Wheels Batmobile, you just throw it in the cart, and then when she gets to the front, she goes, "What's that dude in there?" And you go, "Oh, put it in." Do you ever? Must be me.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Steve.
I would just stack one and throw it in.
Good old Gasheads here. Hello, guys. Who's the bottom guy? Because I've never seen him before. There's David. Hiya, David. Nice to see you, pal. Not having Brody has put me off getting the other two. No point. Exactly what our side said, Stu. Yeah, exactly right. So, yeah, Gashead Steve's here. Unfortunately, there is a Roy Schneider figure. Unfortunately, see now that's a good point because they were in the Sequest thing.
I was just going to say that I'm sure the Roy Schneider one, I'm sure that actually looks, the Sequest figure actually looks like him, if I remember correctly.
Bit funny that, yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I forgot all about the Sequest one. Geez, I feel older. I remember seeing Jaws on the 78 release. I know. I've got tickets to see it on the 29th of August. I can't wait. It was funny that because we were walking to the cinema to see Superman, and I turned around to Jenny and said, "Oh, I'd love to see. I wonder if they'll do anything for Jaws being the 50th." And they showed the trailer. And they've restored it, and it's all in, and it looked fantastic. And it's funny that because you always go through that thing, saying, Baz, oh, you should see this on the big screen. And I've never seen Jaws on the big screen, but when you saw that boat side in the ocean with nothing behind it, I thought that's exactly how it's supposed to look, just like that on a massive screen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I can't
definitely.
wait for that. Yeah,
You might put it in Blackpool. They might not. I've no idea if they are doing.
Hey, Mr. B. He says, hi, Shabby Si and the infamous Baz. Yeah, it's nice to have Baz here with us. It's awesome. So good old Mr. B's here. I'll show you something else. Let's have a look at this, see what you think of this. Let me just put that out of the way. Now, this is something that Baz has already brought up, but I want to talk about this. It is this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, right. Okay, so they've released two. They're out to pre-order right now. And it's Megatron and it's Man at Arms crossovered, obviously, Transformers Mode 2.
Yeah.
I didn't get a big thing about this side, to be honest, because I don't know whether we've had the Turtles of Grayskull, we've had the cartoon collection, the Masterverse collection, Origins, Mattel Origins, Club Grayskull now, and now we've got these and Thundercats. So,
but for fans like me, it's things like this I absolutely love. I like translucent figures. I like off figures. I like figures that have done festive. I like figures that are just off, that are eccentric. I like this sort of look. And I'm looking at this, and then as soon as I saw that Decepticon logo in the middle of Skeletor's crossbridge breast, I thought, I have got to buy this figure. And then you look at the Megatron's cannon, and that makes the staff. I thought, oh, this is a definite for me. I'll be all over this.
It is. Baz, what do you think of him?
I think they're cool. I agree with Si. I'll definitely buy the Megatron. The Megatron actually looks cool. It'll be interesting to see what they actually do with it, Shabby. But I've also seen, I don't know if it's real or if it's fake, but Turtles is meant to be doing a crossover with Godzilla as well.
Yeah, there will be. You see, well, I'll give you an example. Mattel Creations, if you're a member of the Club Grayskull, they put out a poll a couple of days back, and what that poll said was, it said, "What crossovers would you like to see?" Right now, I'm a definite knowing that. Now, I know the DC license has gone to Mattel, so there's no way on earth they're not going to do a crossover Motu DC next year, and we're going to be covered in that. The problem with these, though, is the same as the turtle ones. The turtle ones were cool, and it was a good novelty at the time. This collab between Turtles and He-Man, and the figures look cool. And obviously, since day one, even though they're not a crossover, the WWE figures, the wrestling figures, they're classed as Motu Origins in a way. Do you see what I mean? They'll fit in seamlessly, and you can take the parts off them and put them. But these, you see, this is another line to it. And so far, Origins is up to like 4 or 5 lines, and this is another one adding to it. Because if these two do well, they're going to obviously keep doing Transformers. So I'm like, am I going to get into these now as well? Because there's no way you're making Megatron without Optimus Prime.
You see, I'm the lucky one here out of the two of us, because I only ever buy Decepticons, ever. So Megatron first, Soundwave, Starscream. Then at a push, if I see a nice Shockwave or something like that, great. But I really only basically, of all the Transformers I collect, is buy Decepticons and never buy Autobots. So for me,
definitely be a Soundwave side. I would definitely buy Soundwave.
That's it. So for me, this maximum, these would be 3 or 4 figures for me, maximum. Unfortunately for you, Mark, when you look that you're like 2 figures out of the whole Motu collection, your habits would be, if you bought one of these, then you would have to get the rest of them in. Because you do buy Autobots, you are a fan of Transformers as well, and I know your habits. I bought one, I'll have to get them all. You know what I mean? And that's just the way you are.
I think ever since Motu has come out in 2020, I'm only missing about 4 of the figures. I've kept with this line, and I love these. Basically, I mean, it was Black Series has gone second now to Motu for me. The only issue is, though, the way Mattel do it is because we've just paid for a Fright Zone. These two are to pre-order right now at $35 each. You've got the Snake Lair coming. You've got other cartoon collection coming. And I'm like, wow, I've got to slow down, because the pre-orders for Mattel, what they do is they take the money straight away. Do you see what I mean? So your money's gone. So I know I've got a Snake Lair when you talk about tax and shipping and all that to do. So I might just hold off on these and see how they go, because they're still up as well. They are still up on Mattel. They haven't sold out. I do like them, but you've hit the nail on the head. What you just said, Arcade, is.
But again, is this a bit quick after the Thundercats line? Is this a bit quick? I'm starting to get my head around, starting to look for them now at the moment. So as soon as I'm getting interested in them, straight away this comes out. So now I'm like, well, does my money go to Transformers or does it go to the Thundercats? Like
that's cool, the way they can take Bumblebee's mask off and it's Duncan underneath it. That's pretty cool. The problem for me is basically another one that's coming, and how many more figures that we're going to have to get and all that sort of stuff. And I do like them, I do, but you know. The thing about Origins, it was meant to start and doing the classic ones, which, listen, they're a toy company. I know they're going to collab and do other things, and it feels like collaborations are getting bigger. It's like a lot of other companies. We're going to show something in a bit with Spider-Man doing something with a collaboration. But I would have preferred, like the TVC lads, get the vintage ones out the way first. You've still got about 20 of the vintage ones to do yet. Or as a Mattel Creations, you know, especially the Club Grayskull, do the giants that were only available in Italy, or do something a little bit different. It just feels like this is the 3rd collab already. Turtles, but I say the ones. Remember the Stranger Things ones? I've got the Stranger Things both crossovers that they did, and you're like, this is the 4th time now that they're doing it. I do like them, but I'm not rushing out to get another collab Motu line, if that makes sense.
Did you collect the Turtles ones? Did you do all them ones?
Got all the turtle ones, and there's one that's just been the San Diego Comic Con exclusive, which I'm going to show you in a sec. Yeah, Jaws on the big screen. 4K. Is
that the Shredder by any chance?
Yeah, I've got it, and so I'll show you them pictures in a second. But so going back to the Transformers Motu, you two both would buy that. You'd get into them, would you?
Like I said, if they do the 4 and the 4 that I always collect, yes, that Megatron is a definite pickup. I collect all things Megatron, even the G.I. Joe when they did the Megatron crossover with the His Tank. I don't buy G.I. Joe, but I made sure I bought that Megatron His Tank. Do you know what I mean? So it's things like that do pull me in. Yeah, definitely.
So are you right? Well, let me ask you both a question. Are you both fans of crossovers? You like these collab? Because I'm not really. I don't know. It's hard really to explain because, like I said, I don't want to be a hypocrite. When the turtle ones came out, I just like the novelty of that. Oh well, because I wasn't really a turtles fan.
I do because I like the art design of it from the beginning. Coming from an artist's perspective of my own, I can imagine being sat in that room and your boss comes in and says, "Right, guess what? This is your little crack team. We're going to be doing Transformers crossing over with He-Man. You lot have got to go off and design them." Then you've got to think who you're crossing over, what the outfit's going to look like, and it's such an exciting process to me. That being an artist, that when you see these final figures like that, for me, I know there's a lot of love gone into them. Do you know what I mean? They're not just like bog standard. They've not been thought about. They're just repaints. It seems to be like a product that's been thought about, if you'll have me. So, I would pick up. I mean, the Thundercat ones, I loved all them when I saw them. Do you know what I mean? I thought they were a great crossover. And again, these Transformers ones, I'll buy the ones I want, yeah.
The lads in the chat are half and half, Baz and Si. Half of them are saying, yeah, they like him, and half of them are saying, yeah, it's not for me.
And you're not wrong either way. A lot of people really have to live by a budget when it comes to buying figures. And as long as you've got your main core line, are you really that bothered about repaints, translucent ones, these ones that are gold, and these ones that are pink, and these ones that are crossed over? No, you wouldn't be. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes people just like that core collection. They're not interested in what comes with it. Do you know what I mean?
The crossovers, there might only be a couple of characters that you have a connection with, so that's the only characters you wanted to buy.
That is an awesome point you've just made, because when they did the turtle ones, right, they stuck really to the core characters: Shredder, Splinter, the 4 turtles, Bebop and Rocksteady, that kind of thing, and then Foot Soldiers, whatever. And then they did Casey Jones and they did April O'Neil. Me not being a massive turtle fan, I know those characters. Do you see what I mean? And they did a massive Krang, which is awesome. I bought that too, really cool. The Krang, and the Krang came in the body of this Motu figure, which was nice, and I did enjoy that. But it's like I said, that one. That's it. So you hang on, Paz. Just show that up a minute. I'll show Si what it. That's it. Look at that. It's beautiful. And you can make it twice as big, Si, by putting that extra body part in it. So it's a really nice one.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is,
this was a birthday treat for myself back in April.
Yeah, it's a great figure. But that's the thing with them. I mean, this will be the 4th, and it's like I said, I can't say I'm not. I'm nobody on YouTube. I'm not like got source or whatever. But I guarantee the DC line's going to go Motu crossover next year. It is. There's no way they're not going to do that. Do you see what I mean? Getting that license. So,
and that'd be something to look forward to. That it would be for the sake of. But I do understand if people don't. I get it 100%. They're not everyone's cup of tea,
yeah.
Some people only just buy this sort of figure. They don't even buy designs of figures.
Yeah.
I want to get the Thundercat figures, right? But there was only one figure I really wanted, and I got it before it sold out, and I cannot find it again.
Right.
I only wanted Battlecat.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool, though. You know what I mean? I'm definitely going to get the Thundercat ones. I mean, that you've got to really at our age, I need to get the Thundercats. But
so looking at that, then, Baz, they're starting to come out over here. Then they're starting to pop up at places and stuff.
Well, they're starting to come out. Amazon. I don't usually pre-order.
But you see,
I've tried pre-orders for Amazon. You pre-order them like the week before they're due. They end up cancelling your order.
But that's the issue for me, you see, because not only am I buying the Thundercats line when it comes to Motu, I'm buying the Origins line, I'm buying the Club Grayskull line, and now it looks like I'm going to have to buy the Transformers line as well. But Mr. B makes a good point. Maybe it's more of a fun line to collect that. So what I'm trying to say is, am I missing out by not just jumping on them? We'll see how they go. I mean, but like I said, if they're going to do well, that's going to be another line that you're going to have to start collecting.
I've got to say Transformers.
Go on, Baz.
You don't have to collect every Transformer, because
that's
one of my friends for the Neverlands, he's been asking me about Transformers. When he had them as a kid and he wanted to get them back again, he was like, well, what Transformers do I go for? I goes, well, go for the core team. You don't have to buy every Decepticon, every Autobot. Just get the ones that you want. So you need an Optimus, you need a Megatron. You definitely need a Megatron.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And he started to pick up some of the Beast Wars. I says, well, just get the core teams. You don't need to go and buy every Beast War that's come out, every Predacon that's come out. Just get the core team.
Yeah. No, the multi-transformers aren't getting a general release, I don't think. Well, at the moment, they're not. You got the 2 that are on pre-order, so I don't even know when they're coming, and that's on Mattel Creations at the moment. The only thing retail that Moto are doing at the moment are Thundercats and the cartoon collection. The Origins and the basically is all online. So
that's the one.
It says to me them Thundercats ones are for retail. I think the Transformers one will be. I think they will.
The only thing with getting the Transformers, even though I want the Megatron, Si will be the same. I want the Megatron, but we don't have Mattel Creations over in the UK yet.
Right.
We don't.
Are you sure? Are you sure you don't have it yet? I'm positive you do.
Unless something's changed in the last few months.
I think you might do. Well, I don't know about that, but I know Europe has one because the lovely Chris Meyer at Chasing A's, he's just got the Fright Zone, which is weird because it doesn't come for me till the 15th of August. So, but he got it, and I watched his video on it. So I think they have got a Europe. It might not be a UK one, Barry, but it might be like a European one that they do. This is a good point, lads, because I know Si likes the Universal Monsters and obviously Baz likes the Turtles. So the Turtles and Universal Monsters was a good crossover.
Well, again, that's how they pull you in. I'm a massive fan of the Bride of Frankenstein. So when the Frankenstein April O'Neil crossover figure come out, I bought it. Do you know what I mean? When that crossover was done.
Yeah. What do you think of crossovers, Connor?
I know Jason's quite fond of them on his trip to Thailand. Crossovers are fun. They're like, I mean, I know, like, not everyone's going to like them, but they are a bit of fun. Sometimes you see something that's really actually. Chris Miwa from Chasing 80s Toys showed a crossover of the Motu Thundercats. I was really impressed with those.
Yeah, but the nicest thing about those crossovers, though, is that they've made it so you can make them either a crossover or purely Thundercats.
Yeah.
So the accessories and stuff come off, so you can make them just a Thundercat if you want. It has nothing to do with Motu. That thing I kind of like, the way they've done it that way. But obviously with these Transformers ones, there's not much to change, really, is it? Because if you change them, you're just going to have to get another Skeletor, another Man-at-Arms. So you're going to have to leave them as that. So I'm not sure. I think out of all the crossovers they've done, this one I'm a bit like, it's all right, but I'm not rushing out to buy it, if you will.
Yeah, but you can take or leave them as well at the cross. They either fit in with your collection or you can skip by them. You're not doing numbers and stuff in your
I agree.
That way. Well, let me ask you two, because you both collect the Black Series. I mean, for me, I love that Biker Scout Festive one with the little Grogu, and I love that figure. Also, I've just seen that Asajj Ventress, which is done like the witch from Wicked, and I think that is brilliant. I will definitely be buying that figure. But how do you two feel about them being regular Black Series buyers?
No.
Are these something you pick up or look at? Or?
To me,
I don't have one.
No, I have one that I found at Ollie's for $8, $7.99, and I had a 10% thing on Ollie's as well, because Ollie's is the greatest place on earth to go to. If you watch it, Ollie's, sponsor Shabby, you know I love Ollie's. But I think there's a difference, lads, between crossovers and novelties. And I think that the Christmas one was it's like the Halloween ones have started doing it. I was never a fan of them when it comes to Black Series. What about you? Were you a fan of him, Connor? Or
no, I don't have one of the Halloween ones. I thought looked ridiculous. For some reason, I didn't like them at all. The novelty Christmas ones, I could get that kind of feel for it, but we've a very strict policy when it comes to decorations here in the Fuller household. We're big Christmas fans, and it has to kind of fit into that.
Yeah, I did pick up one of the Christmas Black Series ones, but it was the C3PO. But I got it from TK Maxx because I had them doing it £5. So it's like, I couldn't walk away from it.
Don't get me wrong. If I saw them all for $5 on sale, I'd pick every single one of them up.
Now, would you do? All right. Well, let me ask. I've got comic lads here that are much more comic lads than I am. Marvel and DC. 20 years ago, they started to merge the comics and all that sort of stuff. If they made figures of that, crossover figures, like for example, Kieran says a Dark Claw was a Batman Wolverine. Would you buy the figures of crossovers DC Marvel?
Definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Figure, absolutely. I'd be mad for that. And I do. Funny enough, I'm not a big comic guy. I like covers. I go for the cover art, and I'm after there's a new Wolverine there's a new Deadpool versus Batman coming out, and I've pre-ordered the Wolverine cover. It was €20, so it's much dearer. But it's the cover art I go for, and it's spectacular.
Yeah.
But if
I'm the same as you, Connor. I'm not a big comic person, but it's the cover that draws you in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You end up buying it, and it sits there for months and months, and you've never read it, but it's a cover.
It's a piece of art in itself. Like it's well worth it. The £5 or the £4.
Talking about we're talking about, so I might as well show this now. I did get this one. This is the San Diego Comic Con exclusive Turtles of Grayskull, and it's Skeletor and Shredder merged in as a collab. I liked it because of the big packaging that it came in. So this is how that looks, like that, and obviously the comic. But the thing about this, the Skelly Shredder here, it comes with that many accessories. You can actually make 3 figures out of this, which I thought was cool.
Box,
like, I mean, everything I do is about playability, and if anyone gets to the end of my videos, but like it's things like that. It's just stunning. Like, I mean, that's something you can play with. That's a toy. You can take it down. You can fiddle with it. You can swap it out. The accessories you can, and you're using your imagination to bring a look of the figure you want, and then like that, you're trying to match the pose. And I think they're fantastic. They're toys, and that's what. That's why we're in this gig. They're toys at the end of the day.
It was funny though that they did this, because last year they did the Too Bad, the cartoon collection Too Bad, and it sold out with minutes that, and they never reintroduced that one. So it's been a year now since that, and they never did it. I just found it funny that they did a collab. Now we're talking about collabs for a San Diego Comic Con exclusive. I think this will be the last Turtles of Grayskull figure. I think this is it after this. I don't think they can do any more. But I mean, if you can see it, all cloth capes, comics, it comes with all sorts. Do you see? And this is the same figure that they change constantly, like this.
I don't know. There's plenty of Turtle characters and Motu characters. They could probably keep it going for years if they wanted to, but like, that's fun to me. That is like, I don't collect Motu or Turtles, but that is fun. That's just a fun toy. Like, I mean, look, like, straight away, I'm an accessories guy, and that just sings to my heartstrings.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
Because again, the same kind of crossovers, man. They also done one with Power Rangers with Turtles as well. Remember, they done the Lightning collection with the Turtle figures.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah. So Mr. B's not a fan of him. Christmas. I thought so. I mean, I'm a big Black Series fan. I've got hundreds of them in the house. I've always been a Black Series fan, and but there's just something about those novelty ones. I think it was the price as well, Connor. When you're looking at $30 a figure.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're taking the same figure and you're just putting a Christmas jumper on it. And I'm a massive fan of Christmas, as everybody knows. But
memory serves you right, though. They were like €2 dearer or more expensive than a regular line. But when it comes to Star Wars, I just want closer and closer to the original actors, to the original characters in the movies.
See, I was tempted to buy the Chewbacca / werewolf figure, but it's still like $29.99 for it, and I was like, it's not. To me, it's not worth £30 kind of thing. I picked up it was like a tenner or something, but
well, you're funny about that because
to buy it, but it's like, nah, I can't spend that kind of money on something that I want, but I don't really want. If you know what I mean?
Hey, John. Yeah, because Tony G's saying right here, thinking of dropping figure collecting, it's getting expensive and just buying the comics that cost less. And that's the thing. So there's one or two of us that collect just one line, but there are a few of us that collect everything. Do you see what I mean? And this is
kind of funny that there's a certain person just popped on that another link, because I've actually found a few items in the last couple of weeks of the same toy line. I couldn't believe that I actually found them.
There are 2 toys I'd like to see made. TikTok from Return to Oz. I'd love that. I'd love Return to Oz. I love that movie. And Hot Toys, Helen Slater, Supergirl, make them, and I can die happy. After that, I'll get them, of course. Yeah, but you can't look at them all year. Yeah, that's a good point.
True.
Yeah. But you make it so, it was just a San Diego copy, but it's still available on Mattel Creations. That one didn't sell out, so it's still there. But I think it's because making a Turtles of Grayskull figure a Comic Con exclusive, I was like, they should have done like they did last year, do a Too Bad, but maybe do a Too Bad in Origins, or maybe do one of the Twistoids or a giant something, or one of the dinosaurs. Done it that way for it. So
I do like the new Dracula that they've brought out, that they're bringing out.
Yeah, definitely. The new Pumpkin R2 art unit sold out in Disney. It's July. That's the thing. Some of them just sell straight away, doesn't it? Connor, comic book covers, you say. See you next weekend.
So,
hi, Jason.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
So John should recognize that spaceship.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There's the Alpha probe.
And it does come with the 2 figures.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
don't know if you realise, but that actually comes off to attach to the little shuttle.
You can put it on the shuttle.
And the only thing it's actually missing is there's a, I watched your video.
Yeah, there's a hose
here. It's like a little string thing that you can actually put the shuttle on, and it looks like the shuttle is pulling.
Or a
So
figure. The figure has a hole in the back. You can put him like he's on a spacewalk.
The next
It
thing
did
I want
take me a while to work out. It's like, how did I get the figure out of that? So I had to watch your video.
You have to slide it back. Yeah.
So the next thing I want to discuss is this.
Oh, I did see that.
So the Haslab gunship and so forth. So and I know this is a new one, and I know it's caused a little bit of a is it worth it? Is that and so forth. So like I say, I want your honest opinions, and I want the chat's honest opinions. What you think about this? What you think about the price? First of all, I wanted to say something because I was talking about this to me a couple of days ago. I'm not a person who's bothered about the person buying it. It's not about the person buying it or not.
No.
So I don't care less who buys it, who doesn't. I'm out of it straight away because I don't collect TVC. What I want the topic tonight be, is that worth $450? Do you feel that it's worth it? Do you feel like it's going somewhere? So, Si, I'll start with you and we'll just go around for this one.
No, it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking for 450 quid. It's nothing new. It's supposed to be a brand new, like, these things are supposed to be desirable to people by they back them. And what I've seen, and like I said, people have their own opinions. I don't shoot anybody for buying anything. I'll buy what I want. I won't listen to anybody else what I'm buying. And I hope the same goes for everybody. But in my opinion, when I saw that Ghost and they were giving it how big it is, biggest playset we've done, it wasn't. It was just a little corridor with a little cockpit and then 4 big plastic cheese pieces to put on. And ever since that Ghost come out, and it's not really an old Haslab, you never see it anywhere. No one talks about it anymore. I haven't seen videos on it. I haven't seen anything on it. So, and then I saw that Cantina come out. And again, that Cantina is for what it's supposed to be, in my opinion, is shocking. It's not that people haven't been waiting for it. It's not that people have backed it. It's look what you're getting for this sort of money. Mm-hmm. So when I saw that gunship this weekend, and I heard everybody going on about a sandcrawler, obviously, I thought this was for fans. I thought this company listens to what fans want and then go and make it and make a profit from it. Yet everybody seems to be ranting about this sandcrawler, and it ended up being a gunship. Now, I'm not knocking anyone for buying it. For me, what I've seen, I cannot anywhere justify £450 for that. I just can't.
Well, it's not going to be $450, is it? Because by the time you've done tax and shipping, you're looking at well over $500 for that. Well over it.
I'm not saying it's not desirable, and I'm not saying it's not desirable to Star Wars fans, and it's something that people want. Of course, you should go out and buy it. But my point is, this keeps continuing, and they keep making these sets more cheaper and less paint jobs, and you've got no lights. This is the year 2025. I should be looking at Haslabs, and they should be like Robocent Transformers. They should do absolutely everything. They should be absolutely amazing why people have backed this and put money at it. And let's be fair, when you're a collector as a grown man like I am, if you throw the kitchen sink at these things and they're absolutely amazing, it wouldn't matter if you put another 300-400 quid on them, because we'd all buy it. But they don't. And it seems to be, from my opinion, these Haslabs are looking and getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper along the lines. But again, that's just only my opinion.
The thing for me is the way I've always looked at it, and so on, and there is going to be something that I will be backing, that's the motor one that I will show in a bit. But I always think that a Haslab to me should be unique. It should be something you've never ever had before. Yeah. Something that's thought of, well created. So the sail barge, for one, that to me was fantastic. Wow! You've never had something that scale and that big and that. But the thing is, and when you saw the Razor Crest, Razor Crest, I can kind of understand, you've never had that before, but then you're getting the toy versions of it as well, and you're getting the adventure versions of it. And then the Ghost, I thought, well, the Ghost is all right. And, I kind of like the Ghost, but then this one, I just thought, I saw Guppy on Stews on Sunday show 2 brand new box one from 10 years ago. So Baz, what do you think about this?
It does look cool, but I think the price is just a bit outrageous, to be honest.
A lot of people in the chat say the same thing.
Gunships in the past, so I mean, they're still I can't remember if it's for the 6th inch or if it's for the vintage line, but if you've got an original gunship, it's still going to work for your 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures. So there's no point in spending. The only thing I can see different is that they've actually put the orbs on the side of it. The original gunship never had those.
One of them did.
Think
One
it
of them
did.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
vintage
did.
One of them did, but I don't
vintage
think it
collection.
was done.
Yeah, no, the vintage
Yeah,
collection
well,
one that they did before, you could put a figure in it. They were big enough. They were the same as what's on the side of that.
So
Connor,
yeah,
what do you think?
it is kind of cool, but it's true what Si says. If you're going to do a Haslab, do a vehicle that you've maybe only seen in the movie, but they've never thought about bringing it out in a toy form. Don't bring. It's like with the Rancor. I would have backed the Rancor, but what you were getting with was technically crap, especially the cardboard from.
No, I like the Rancor, but $350 for that, and then again, when you look at tax and shipping, you're looking at $400 for a Rancor. Do you know what I mean? And I think what ruined it for me with the Rancor, they didn't even have one. If you remember, it was all digital at the time, and they didn't even couldn't be bothered making it. And then when they did make it, it was all grey. They didn't even paint it. And I'm like, but you're expecting $400 out of my pocket for that? Connor, what do you think?
And look, to echo what you and so I've already said, if anybody is excited about this, happy for it, more credit to them and more power to them.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for them. So this is what I feel on it in my perspective from my collecting point of view, right? So that caveat is out of the way. But I think they've shot themselves in the foot. They set such a high bar with the sail barge. You've already alluded to it, Shabby. Like, I mean, they brought the sail barge out. It was the first Haslab they ventured into. They went safe with Star Wars. They brought out this epic ship from such an epic scene and an epic movie.
Yeah.
It was beautifully painted, beautifully detailed, loads of little extra, pieces scattered around it that really made it stand out. It was visually beautiful. Even the way they done the sails, that they were material and they stretch across, just gave that splash of realism. Open up, there was plenty of room then to put in your characters and figures and display them out. You had the option of using as a diorama shelf piece in itself, and they've just kind of gone down from there. So, and again, we just stay on Star Wars, that there's so much other things that they could have done. Now, the cantina was a great idea because we all want play sets. We all want that sort of world building our shelves, because that's all any of us are trying to do, is just recreate our favorite movies on our shelves. And from what I can see on that, and again, not trying to bash it because I know loads of people backed it, but as I said already, it's not painted, it's not weathered, it's not like, I mean, it's it's just cheap. It's and these, like, I mean, everyone talks about costs a lot of money to develop the molds, and yeah, it does. Once they're developed, these things are like molded out in one or two parts and screwed together. They aren't expensive to produce.
Yeah.
And even what Baz was saying about the Rancor, what comes with it, it shouldn't be about what comes with it. What comes with it should be the bonus or the added on. It shouldn't be factored into the pricing, but it always is.
Yeah.
We know it is, and then we feel cheapened out as customers. I think if they were going to do something, the Sandcrawl, I know a lot of people were calling for TBC collectors. I'm still on my soapbox. I think we should get a Black Series X-Wing. I don't think there's any reason why we couldn't.
No, the last one we got Black Series was that Snow Speeder 3 years ago. That was the last thing.
An X-Wing, right? Everyone says it's too big, right? The fuselage comes in two parts, and the wings you pack sideways. Right, I've solved the packaging issue, right? It was the Black Series.
He's done your job as well. You're welcome.
But but go big or go home with a Haslab, right?
Yeah.
Now, like you're saying, it doesn't matter if they throw an extra 300 quid on its side. Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, they should. Has to be realistic, right? In some form or another. This is a hobby. We've all got bills coming out of our ears, right? Yes, a Haslab is going to be expensive, far more expensive than something we'd pre-order online or pick up in the shops, but it has to be realistic. And I think what they're asking for, an updated ship that they've already done 3 or 4 iterations of already, is absolutely crazy. And even 2 pilots, there should be 2 gunners at the very least included.
Yeah.
Or the gunners, the guns on the side, and at least 8 clones to throw in the back of it. They've got the molds of the figures already. Those
Yeah.
They've got those Jedi's, which were never on one of those ships, were they? I don't remember.
No.
So
If they,
very
two-
clever to put them
two
in there
pilots-
because they know they want them.
2 gunners and 8 clones,
Yeah.
and then start building the tiers or putting tiers onto it. That should have been the base offering. But I think 450 quid, and I correct me if I'm wrong, I did see somewhere there's a Haslab surcharge going around on this, which is add-on shipping and tax then and everything else. Realistically, the majority of us can't drop that kind of
Right
Yeah.
before Christmas,
No.
too, really, in a way. I mean, we've got families, some of us, and I don't know. I mean,
putting 2 of them back to school, uniforms,
Exactly.
books, iPads, and updates,
Yeah.
and everything else. Like,
I just think it's like what Mr. B said. If anything, Hasbro should have redone the gunships for shelves. Now, they made a point as well, the box is too big. Me and John live in the States. That's absolute nonsense. Some of the stuff that's in boxes. Look at the American Girl situation for on the girls' house. These boxes are huge. Do you know what I mean? Even the bags come in boxes. Even those tractor or car things that kids sit in all come in boxes. They're all sat at Walmart.
Well, that shelf argument is that's gone because Hasbro are trying to control the distribution in the UK and the EU. They haven't done it in the US yet. It's people can still get stuff from Walmart and Target, but that's what they're trying to do. These don't have to sit on shelves. These are all pre-ordered and shipped out. The size of the box is really irrelevant. If you can fit a couple of these on a pallet and they go in the back of a van, it ain't an issue. They're making a profit.
I agree.
I've just seen this shark one. There was an old vintage one, an old one before, like a big shark mouth on it. And that looks a better paint job than this one does.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, how much was that when they first came out? How much were them gunships like that?
About
That's it.
60.
All right.
No, they're a bit pricey. They were pricey. It was about 2010 they came out. I think they're about 60, weren't they, John? Those.
They are 60 quid. This is 2 things. So for 23% bigger, you're paying almost 300% profit. It's beyond me. It's just like I just think that something. If you're taking Star Wars, right, which is this big, and you've decided to take a chunk of Star Wars and put it a little to the side and say this is for a little special club and this is for exclusiveness, and it's going to cost you a bit, but you're going to get things you really want. There's no fan poll in any of all this. What I think they give you, nobody ever asked for, and the things are getting so cheap looking over each one that they do. That I'm like, I can't understand how people would even consider paying a monkey for that. I just can't understand it. So I'm sorry, a monkey's 500 quid. I'm sorry. Paying 500 quid for that. It's like
you've got a good point. First of all, can I just say there's over 50 people in the chat, so thank you all so much for joining in. John, is it too expensive?
It is, but I do have to say though that I've talked to some of my friends in New York and Seattle that are in the Star Wars clubs, and they're super excited for this gunship, and they're buying it. They've already backed it, and I get it. I mean, I think that if you are a fan of the prequels and you love the gunships and you love that scene, the attack on Geonosis, and those Jedi, we haven't had those 3 particular Jedi in the TVC line. They were in like the saga or some of the blue carded stuff, so the figures need to be updated for those particular individual Jedi. But so I think if you're in that boat, more power to you. Go ahead and get it if you can afford it. That's fine. But for me personally, I'm in the camp that I have my gunship right over there. I showed Cy and the guys yesterday.
Yeah.
Box for it, and that very one sealed in the box is currently on eBay for $240. So in my opinion, if you're in the camp that wants a gunship, spend $240 on a sealed boxed one that's already there. And why spend $450? And you're right, like Jonathan had put at, over the weekend, over Comic-Con, I went on Haslab to order one of those Transformers that was released over the weekend. It was $24.99 on Hasbro Pulse.
Right.
They charged me a Hasbro Pulse fee for not being in the club. If you're in the club, then that fee is not there. But because I'm not in the club, I don't pay the $50 a year or $100 a year, whatever price it is, to get the free shipping and to get the early bird, like hour early chance to buy stuff. Like I don't think it's worth it.
I agree, Jonathan.
And what they do now is they charge you a fee for not being in the club. Then they charge you an outrageous amount for shipping. Like, I know because I ship Transformers in their boxes and things like that when I sell on eBay, that it cost me $6 to $7 to send an average studio size Transformer, all right?
Yeah.
Which is basically what I was getting. And they were charging me like $12 for the shipping. I'm going, that's almost twice what it would normally would cost. You know what I mean? And you know this. If anyone who works with the post office here in the United States knows that the more business you do with them, the higher discounts they give you.
Yeah.
So Hasbro's not paying what you and I pay when we walk into the post office. They're probably paying half that.
Exactly.
If I'm paying $6 or $7 to ship something, they're realistically paying $4. And then they're charging me $12. So they're making money on the shipping charge on top of that. So by the time I was done, when that Transformer was in my cart and I was about to pay, the total was $39.79.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much it's going to be
for a $25 Transformer.
Yeah.
So I canceled the order, and I'm no longer I'm not ordering anything from Hasbro Pulse now on. And I actually canceled a lot of I went back and looked at a couple of my pre-orders, and they have added that charge on. So I canceled a lot of pre-orders. And I moved over to Amazon and searched for them on Amazon, found them for free shipping.
Found them there, exactly. Chocolate Chip says, Haslab should be a unique piece, something special and exclusive. When I got the sale barge when it dropped, and I thought they'd continue on, but sadly they failed on an epic sale. And that's from a Star Wars collector.
Yeah, and that's the other side of it too. For me, my number one in my collection is Star Wars. Number two is G.I. Joe, and then Transformers. Okay. So I am normally one of those guys that's all in on Star Wars. I was for most of my life. You put Star Wars on it, I will buy it. You know, I was one of those people for 50 years of my life, basically. You know what I mean? So it saddens me that these days I can't be a collector that's all in. Like, they've priced me out of my own hobby. Do you know what I mean? And I think they've cheapened it along the way because the sale barge, this Haslab, when they first announced it, they said this is for stuff that we otherwise would never be able to make. That was the sail barge. And then we got the Razor Crest. And both the sail barge, the whole side came off, and you could play with all
I can't fault the sail barge.
The Razor Crest, the top came off, the sides came off, so you could get your hands in there and play with it in any way that you want. The engines come off. Like, they basically made it so it's modular, and you can get in there and play with it. And then they made this Ghost, and they made it so the top comes off so you can play with the corridor. But why aren't the other four sides like all things that
I never knew that until Sai told me, because I honestly thought they'd do like they did with the Millennium Falcon. Take the panels
they
off
should have done that.
A play set inside
that entire Ghost should have been hollow with play sets inside every square inch of it, and then you snap on the panels to make it look. And they didn't do that. They cheapened out on it, and then they cheapened out again with the Cantina. Now, the Ghost is something they never would have made. They held that promise up to the Ghost. The Cantina's been done 3 or 4 other times. Yeah. And if you really want it, you can go out and get all those parts that we got. That they used to do it with action figures where they had. Now, granted, no, this one is still 3.75, so they didn't even upscale it to 6-inch, did they?
No.
So, anyways, They've done it with all those figures back in like the early 2000s, where every figure came with a chair or part of the bar or something or a stool.
Yeah, they used to do that. I remember the Jedi Council as well did it. You know, and
if you collected them all, you'd have all the parts. Yeah. And it's like And this, I think, it always looks unfinished as well. Like if the
what Si said about the
cantina,
paint.
those arches on the outside, I'm not talking about the inside. The inside play space looks good. It's the outside where they just have these walls and an arch, and it's just kind of like they could have put a top on it and a side over here, and this side could have all been the outside of Mos Eisley, like when you're walking on the street. Like, why is just the doorway Mos Eisley and not the rest of it all the way around? Like, it just looks unfinished.
Loma Velda makes a good point. He said, I don't know why they don't do a poll. The Mattel one did. So the Mattel one that I'm going to back, which I'm going to show you pictures of in a minute, they actually did a poll. And they said, what would you like? And all that sort of stuff. Jason, what do you think? Do you think it's worth it? Are you going to back 6 or 7 of them, Jason?
Hell no.
No?
I think it's way too expensive. I mean, I'll rather go to eBay or Vintage. And I mean, I've been, and before it got even announced, I've been looking on Vintage. And they've been coming up, not complete, but 90% complete. And they'll be coming up from anything from £30 up to £100, and that's out of the 4. I think it's 3 or 4 that've been made in the past. And I'll rather spend that and find the missing pieces for even less than that, probably. I mean, and not just that. It doesn't look that. Personally, it looks like empty piece of plastic. I mean, there was more plastic in Razor Crest. And then the fifth thing is, and they want 450 quid.
Yeah.
And then you obviously, you got chuck on shipping.
Well, yeah, I mean Chocolate Chip says right there, £450 for a prequel vehicle that's already been done multiple times. And I think that's what it was for me. I mean, the only difference, I think, personally, from this to the other ones is 23 inches or 23.
Yeah.
Is it 23 inches or something like that?
23 inches bigger. And I'll rather spend that £500 on a Vintage or
in Thailand
90s Imperial Shuttle.
The one that I have, I bet, is about 20 inches long. So you're only gaining 3 inches, right?
Adam says here, why it's low risk to the company. If people want it enough, then get it back. There's no issue at all. And I completely agree with that. And this is what I wanted to make sort of at the start of this, because sometimes it's like I say, when you're a diehard TVC fan, this is perfect for you and you want it. So it's nothing to do with the actual purchaser of these Haslab. I wanted to make that clear. It's nothing to do with who's buying it and who's not. This conversation is, do we feel that $450 plus tax plus shipping is worth it?
It's not that it's low risk to the company. I get Adam's point completely, right?
Right.
Yeah, no risk or low risk, right? But they need to turn a profit. So they need to be bringing out a product that sells to us all, that we all want to buy, that we'll all invest our money in. And they'll turn that profit. So, it shouldn't be a case of we'll throw some tripe out there, and if it sticks, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Their aim would be to be profitable, to keep going, to build the brand, build the franchise, and they're just failing to do that. They're just leaving us off a little bit cheap.
I think that I was actually hoping that this next TVC Haslab would be the Tantive 4, because we were just talking about it. We were just talking about it when Gus was on talking about the Saga Museum, where back in the day, Kenner had a prototype made out of cardboard, essentially, of what they were going to do for a Tantive 4. And now I wouldn't make that exact thing, but we all saw pictures of it, and it would have come out in 85 if they had continued the line, or 86 or 87. There was a plan for coming out down the road. So it would have come out if they continued the line, but Star Wars got canceled in 85 and it just ended, so they never made it. Now something like that, I think if you upscaled it to today's standard of production and quality, you could have made it a pretty big, like 3 foot long, Tantive thing where the top comes off and you've got like the cockpit and you've got like a hallway for them to go shooting in. You've got a little area. And granted, we did get that
all out. Exactly. Go all out when it comes. When you're paying this type of money, you go all, and I think that's what we're all saying, isn't it? So,
or I think I would have listened to the fans, like Si said, And if the fans were all shouting for a sandcrawler, why not do a sand? Like, why not listen to the fans and do a sand? Could you imagine if they had a sandcrawler where it's split in half and one half folded down while the other half split up? All right. And in the folded down half, I now have a play set that's full of all the droids and the junk and the things. So you can have like 3PO and R2 like they were inside the sandcrawler when we saw the junk where he was like where 3PO was like, R2D2, is that you? And then they all get together in there. And then the other half that's still standing up were multiple levels, like the cockpit's up here and you can play with your guy. And there's other levels with different things. And then the elevator was there so you could shoot R2 up and down.
And you can display your figures in that. It's a shelf piece as well.
Yeah, and it could... Yeah.
Well, talking about figures, do you think you'll get those Jedis anyway if it backs or not?
No, they're only good because if they're stretch goals, they're not going to give them to you without making the stretch goals.
And what do you think of this? Charge 350 to 380 and that gunship will back. I think if you made it 3 to 350, it'll back.
It would have backed at 3.
I mean, I think that's a relatively decent price as well. Yeah,
I still think 350 is overpriced for what it is.
I do.
And actually, I like John's idea. Like, so I don't want to take away from prequel fans because there is a large section of prequel fans out there. So I'm not trying to take away from that. And this is based on the fact that that vehicle already exists out there, albeit secondhand or whatever now, right? But I think the Tantive 4 would have been a fantastic idea because it will already fit. It'll fit into current collections. So even if you're not a modern TVC collector, but you've got all the Palletwire or Kenner vehicles from back in the day, you're going to want a Tantive 4, and then all the TVC guys. I think that would have been a much better product offering. So I think that's
I agree. I 100% agree. I think that's what got everyone with the barge as well, of the simple reason it was massive. It looked to scale with what and you've never seen it. And so when you're looking at 500 quid, I think if we all look back at our streams and videos back then, I think we all said, well, I know it's expensive, but it's well worth it. And I think that's the difference. That's turned into 450 quid for this. Do you see what I mean?
Well, for me, what I don't understand more than anything is that this is for fans to have desirable things, to be a franchise, to follow something for so long that these things you will back. What I don't understand is why always on a gamble? Why did they not ask fans 16 months ahead of time? They've got plenty of time to do this because the amount of fans that have voted for this time we should do a Sandcrawler, we should do a Tantive. Why not put that into effect, knowing that they've got 10,000, 20,000 people that voted for this thing, instead of this constant gamble? They put this out and they go, there you are, gunship 450. Then they must stick back and go, right, here it goes, roulette table. Are they going to go for it or are they not?
I tell you why, because they've got the bloody thing half designed by the time they show it to you, right? Albeit a 3D model or whatever else. They've done the work, right? So to present that the way they did at Comic-Con and bring out a model of it, that's taken hundreds of man hours to design, develop, to come up with the paint scheme, come up with the schematics, and actually get a model in hand. And I think, but they put all this effort into to selling you this and presenting it to you that by the time they've brought it to the table, they have to get it over the line. They've already invested in it, so that's I suppose that's what people are saying. It's a safe bet. If it backs it, they make money. If it doesn't back, they don't lose it. They have lost.
They lost a lot of money.
Well, it's like the interesting. So Wade says here, tooling is already done on those Jedi. It's already done on that ship. So why are you waiting 18 months to get it? The tooling's done. Everybody saw it at San Diego Comic-Con. It was in that case.
Well, that was a model. They would have to tool it, set up a production run and everything else. So that does take time. But I'm talking about the initial investment and getting, okay, I want to get a picture of Si, right? So I ring up Si and I say, give my ideas. And Si has to send me over 5 different drawings of, what he's trying to get out of my head onto paper. That's going to take him time. That's going to take him effort. And actually, I don't want them. He's already invested all that, and that's what Hasbro are doing. They're investing thousands of man hours, thousands and thousands of dollars into things. They need to get them over the line, but they need them to be a desirable, not expensive, but they need to be realistically expensive for us to buy them.
I actually would pose a question here. I would wonder, like, I actually wondered this about, I'm going to jump franchises here too, because I actually wondered about the Snowcat as well as now this gunship. Like, I almost think they had them made and someone in the company went, oh, you know what? We shouldn't release this as a regular release. Let's make it a Haslab. And then they change a few things, like add lights to the Snowcat and go, yeah, if we add lights to it, it'll make it Haslab quality. And they're like, we got away with doing the HISS tank, and this isn't much longer than a HISS tank, so it could probably fit in. But their original intention when they designed the Snowcat was that it would come out in the main line, and someone in the company just went, no. Let's try and make this a Haslab.
I agree. I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
let's extort these people for an extra $200.
Well, this is what I want. This is what
creative teams at any one time. They have 5 or 6 teams working on different products.
Yeah,
not all of them make it to the shelf, or to retail, or to but that conceptually they're there. And like when I look at what, as John says, I know we're jumping lines. And when I look at the Snowcat, I'm not seeing 3.5 times the value of the Stinger or the Vamp.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
No.
Someone just said, let's extort these fans and get an extra $200 out of them.
But this is what I want to show you, because we've talked about the G.I. Joe, but this is the one I'm going to back. So this is Mattel's crowdfunding, if you will. Now, a couple of years back, they did this, which was the Eternia, and it is massive, as you can see. And this was expensive, you know what I mean? And it was about $6. So when you've done tax shipping, you're looking at about $6.50 for this, which came out like that. You know, you got your figures, you got your play sets, you got your exclusive moat monster, and you got all the parts. And this in a way was awesome. So bit of criticals has said something you've never seen before. Yes, you did get this in the 80s, but it was a very, very limited run. And to get either one complete or to not, to find one in a box, you're looking at $2-3 grand at least. So this was awesome to back. What they did was last year they showed you a picture of the new Snake Lair that they were doing, which was a fan poll, and nobody liked it. They put it out and they said it doesn't look like it doesn't have the motor aesthetic. They wanted it to look more like a grey skull or a snake mountain. So they came back this year with this. So this is Mattel's Moto Origins Snake Lair. It's to do with the snake men on it, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. Now for this, and I'll show you all the pictures and so forth, you're looking at $300 for this. The difference, I think, between this though and the lab that Haslab are doing is the fact that you've never had this before, ever, and there's so much playability on it. And they've took it to the old vintage style and made a new playset, if you will. If you notice at the bottom, John, as well, can you see the Battle Bones toy right there that they've incorporated into it? So how this looks, it's 28 inches wide and it's 29
I'm looking
inches
at
tall.
that image, Shabby, and look at the paint apps running all the
Look
way
at
down
it.
through that. So
Well, that's my point.
Get a detail. So it's not just a plastic mold, with a little bit of a wash. That's
everything on it, the painting, the molding.
The issue that I'm having at this particular moment, so right now, I'm not looking at what comes with it. I'm just looking at what you have right now on the screen, nothing else. I would say I just bought the Snake Mountain for $90 some.
Yeah,
it wasn't even $100. So what does this have in addition to it that makes it 3 times the price of what I just bought?
And that was Scuba Pete's problem, because Scuba said exactly the same thing to me this morning. Why is this one? I mean, because there's an Amazon exclusive Castle Grace of the old mode that's gone up to $120. So why is this one? But what I'm saying is, when you're looking at the price value, so this is $150 less than the lap. But look how much you get with it, and look at the paint job on it. And look at everything.
But you're using that as a justification. That might be $150 less, but it's still $250 too expensive. Yeah. When I picked up my Castle Grayskull box, that cost me £40. Guaranteed it was in the sale. But if that was originally £80, what the hell is that doing at 300 quid? Just because you've not had it before. So because of that sentence, that's going to cost you $250 or $200 more just for a sentence.
And
this is what I don't understand.
And I don't understand either. And that's a valid point that you make there. And this is why I want you to show this off. But at least they've done something like that. It was a fan poll. So everyone picked this. And basically, it's something that we've never had before. So, yeah, granted, I think it's expensive for 300 quid. But it goes back to what I was saying before about TBC fans. They're going to... Yeah, this is one of the tiers of it. So when the tiers for these, they're bringing out the figures and they're bringing out like animals and so forth. But it's just the player. To me, I've always said to you, like since you've known me on online, I love toys, and this just looks like toys.
Yeah,
you know
these
what I
are
mean?
more toys.
Yeah, and it's just
But,
unbelievable.
like, I mean, okay, looking at that as well, and this is another thing that bugs me about these, right? The tiers are costed into it at the get-go.
They are. Because it's only worth it.
We're all wide
it's
to it
only
now.
worth it if you do get the tiers.
Yeah, like I mean, again, it's about big and extra. So, like I mean, they for that price, those figures should come as standard, and then you get a couple of it doesn't have to be necessarily 3 extra figures, but it could be like little additions to the play set, or some accessories and the figure, and then something else that But I think we're all just wide to it now that all these tiers are just costed into the base price.
I'd be a buyer of this playset if it was at the most 150, but at 300, I just kind of feel. I mean, I understand why people are getting it. I get it. I do, but for me, for my budget, for my thing, I have to pass at $300. I would buy it at 150, but I have to pass.
But again, this was my point about the Haslab, where I said, if the Haslabs created this, is this what's been created because of Haslabs? Because they're seeing what people are willing to pay for as little as what you get. And obviously, toy companies are in competition as much as everybody else's business. And they must look at that and think, we can do that. We can get a few extra quid here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure because the actual Eternia only sold 9,000 of them. The Keldor you never got, so it didn't hit all the tiers. So I'm hoping this one will hit it. But let's take away if you're buying it or not. If you look at the aspect of one of them being $450 as a ship, and this one being $150 less with all these accessories and all this stuff and playability factors, which one do you think would you? If so, you had a choice between the both of them. Which one would you get?
Oh, like for like. I mean,
they're both desirable, and I'm not shooting anyone down who wants it. If you want that gunship, you go out and buy it. If you've looked at that Shabby and you've thought, I love this thing, that is fantastic. That's what basically these companies want. My point of view is, are these the value for the money that we are paying? Considering that it seems like, as a toy collector myself, year after year, these are going up 10, 15, $50 every single year without facts. And then you're looking at this second-hand market. Oh, I'll get it second-hand, it'll be cheaper. It's not cheaper. It's nearly 3 times as dear now. And I'm like, is this all created because of these Haslabs? Are these crowdfunders the biggest main problem to why I now spend 70 quid on Marvel Legends, 90 quid on Metco, and is it because they just go, they'll pay it?
No, it's because
I picked up the Battle Cat Man, right? Amazon was selling it for $27.99. It's now on eBay for £45. Folk are now wanting 45 just for that one figure.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the Shitara, the Lionel. I know they've already done the Shredder. I mean, that's the one I want, but that's constantly out of stock. Followed by the Mumra, but it was gifted by two.
Right.
The only thing with that He-Man, the Skeletor / Mumra figure, you would need to buy 2 so you could have the 2 variations. It's the same with the Shitara. I know somebody that's just went and bought 2 so he could have like the classic Shitara and then like the updated. But I wouldn't go to line if they're like £30 a pop. They're 60 quid.
I think the whole reason that we're paying more for figures is because, and I mean, I said this 2 years ago when people were going on about Mythic Legions and other companies, and they were charging $35, $40, $50 a figure for a 6-inch figure. I said, Hasbro, that's only going to make all the Hasbro and Mattel stuff go up in price, because the other companies are going to look at it and go, wait a minute, if the toy collectors are willing to spend $50 on those Mythic Legions. Why are we charging $20 for our 6-inch Black Series? We might as well start raising the price and see how far we can go. And sure enough, that's what they've been doing over the last couple of years. And they blame it on plastic. They blame it on tariffs or whatever's going on in the news. But we all know that's just them making an excuse.
Yeah.
Really cost them. And part of my reasoning, I keep bringing this up, is that Spin Master made 5 POA figures for $7.99 on super thick, extremely well-made card backs with bubbles that you could practically step on and they're not going to crush in. And they did it, and Spin Master's making a profit off these. They didn't do it at a loss. These things probably only cost $2 or $3 to make total, and they're selling them for $8. So companies like Super 7 and Hasbro and others that are doing these 3 3/4 inch figures that are charging us $15, $20, $25, their CEOs are laughing at us fans all the way to the bank.
I agree with that 100%.
Fools are willing to spend whatever.
Mattel to Hasbro. Mattel can put out a figure for 17 quid in Masters of the Universe, and they're looking for 30 quid for Black Series now.
Well, this is the Amazon exclusive Motu, the Castle Grayskull, and it's exactly the same as the original Grayskull, except for now you come with this figure that used to be in a promotion. Do you remember, John? It was in a 4-pack, and now you get it right here. And the only difference is they've made it the comic book style, so they've turned it grey and yellow. And the matte, that was actually an original matte from the first Castle Grayskull. They didn't do. Now they've added it onto this. But now this is $124, so it's $50 more than what the first Grayskull was 4 years ago. Now I understand, that inflation and all, but $50 more just for the matte and that. I mean, it's something I will get, but it's exactly the same. And
well, let's be fair. Inflation doesn't rise by $50 in the sake of 2 years. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that, again, these are the things what John just said. These are the things we keep getting told all the time, like it makes any difference to me. Oh, these paint jobs cost this much, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. Why are these figures so expensive? It's like we have to wear the blame for what we're buying. Oh, well, it wasn't. You know what I mean? Why are we wearing the blame for it? Do you know what I mean? I don't like buy a pair of Armani jeans and Armani phones me and says, "Oh, listen, about the back pocket, I didn't sew it in so good." So it's like you always have to like wear these things with these toy companies.
We are currently living in the strangest time in human history since money was ever used, right? Since 2008, there's been next to no inflation, right? So we're nearly 20 years with tiny amounts of inflation. Now, I've made the example before. If you go back to when your mom and dad bought a house, 20 years later, that house is worth double because of inflation, right? The house, a house price today is the same as it was 20 years ago. Inflation, we're looking at 1.4, maybe 1.6% a year. Inflation is not the reason for this. That is not an excuse. Everyone has talked about scalpers for years. I'm sick to me death hearing about scalpers and this mysterious man that turns up at a Walmart with a truck and takes everything out. Right? The only scalpers in this game are the big toy companies, the big corporations, and that's Mattel are doing it there if they're charging an extra 50 quid after 4 years since the original Grayskull, and Hasbro are doing it year on year when these figures are going up. I think it was only 4 years ago they were kind of €24. Now they're $29.99 over here for a Star Wars figure, a G.I. Joe figure, or a Legends figure. Those increases are not in line with inflation everywhere else in the world.
No, they're not.
To this industry, to this hobby, and they are creaming us for every penny.
Talking about that, I'll just show you this. This is absolutely gorgeous, right? But wait till I tell you the price for this. So this is Mondo's new thing. Mondo are doing Masters Universe, and they've just done She-Ra and Swiftwind right here, right? And it comes in a beautiful box, and it's absolutely stunning. When you saw it, and obviously an 11.5-inch figure, when you saw it at Comic-Con, it was absolutely gorgeous. This is $795.
Wow.
It comes with loads of accessories and it is absolutely stunning, but 800 quid, fellas. So but
it's a real Pegasus, is it?
Yeah.
It's a real unicorn.
I mean, by the time you get to shipping and tax on this, you are looking at over $900, I think. But it's absolutely stunning. But look at
Again,
it.
to me, today's way. But again, model figures are dear.
Yeah.
I found him. I can tell him at the end of the show that I found him.
Oh, I got it. I got it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember they've done that with Battlecat as well. I think Battlecat was like 500 quid.
Yeah, the skeleton. Yeah, I mean, it's an expensive thing, especially if you got the Battlecat with a He-Man. You're looking at $800, which is awesome for that. I mean, don't get me wrong, but $800 for that.
15 quid on Amazon. 15 quid on Amazon.
Put some wings on it.
Yeah, go.
So,
hang on, I'm going to catch a pigeon.
This is one of the cool things, though. So Simon's messaged me about that, and Simon's like, "Oh, Shabby, have you seen that? It's absolutely stunning and so forth." And I was like, "There's no way." Can you imagine me asking my missus?
Yeah.
And it's £200 for a little doll.
The nicest thing is, though, at the Mattel panel, they're doing their own. So they're doing their own She-Ra Swiftwind, which is a Mattel Creations in September. And it comes in this type of box, like here, with the 40th anniversary on it, which is nice because it is the 40th anniversary of She-Ra.
They do great boxes, these, don't they? The boxes are brilliant on them.
It's beautiful.
But so their version looks like that. Now I'm thinking this is going to be about $60, $70 to tell you the truth. I think it's going to be around there, but that's a lot better than spending $800 on it. What do you think to that?
Yeah.
That's
I'd rather just get this. Yeah.
It's beautiful enough, yeah.
See, Shabby, it's kind of weird that you're talking about She-Ra. Because I
wouldn't be surprised, Shabs, if they charge $100 for it.
That's his boat one.
Yeah, there it is. There's a vintage one. Beautiful. With the origins on it. Awesome.
Okay.
So,
but see, that was people Hellman. I was surprised how much the guy wanted for it.
This also brings up something like a few people in the chat were saying that at a certain point they're going to be out. They're going to and I kind of say, like, for me, I could never be out of collecting. I have a bug. I have the desire to collect stuff. So I can't stop collecting. That's just not in my nature. But my collecting changes over time, where quite frankly, like, I've canceled a lot of pre-orders, and I'm like, there's only like maybe 3 things left on Hasbro Pulse that I ordered early enough where they haven't upcharged me that I'm keeping. And there's like maybe 12 or 13 things on Amazon Prime, and I have 1 thing at Big Bad Toy Store. That's literally it.
Well, do you agree with what Kat's saying right here? Kat says, as adults, we're being charged for nostalgia.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with that.
But what I'm doing is, like, I was just sending, there's Rob right there. I was just sending Rob some links on eBay that I've seen and tips and tricks on how to get stuff, vintage stuff, through auctions on eBay. And that's the thing that I've been sort of moving towards. I look at stuff like this Haslab and go, do I want to spend $450 plus the fee plus shipping? So I'll end up at $525 on this new Republic gunship, or do I want to spend $500 on getting probably like 40 or 50 new figures?
That's why I did buy that thing at Joe Fest, John. There was that,
and maybe even a vehicle that I can get, a vintage G.I. Joe that I don't have yet, or vintage Star Wars that I don't have yet. Like I don't have the Imperial Star Destroyer playset yet for vintage Star Wars. So I'd much rather go out and buy that than spend $450 on this new modern Republic gunship. You know what I mean? So it's
like, it just come out too fast, John, because it's like I said, we just did the Fright Zone from O2, then the Transformers crossovers ones, then the new cartoon collection, then Great Club Grayskull. Now we've got to pay for Snake Lair.
And now and the Thundercat crossovers and the Turtle crossovers. Too, yeah.
But it doesn't even have to be like modern versus collecting either. And that's what you're into, right? But from my perspective, I'm getting priced out of it for a lot of stuff. Actually, I was only on Hasbro Pulse night, and I cancelled the Cobra Claw. I looked at it and went, that's not worth £100. I'm not going to get enjoyment out of that for that money. And I cancelled what's the guy who comes with all the green? I can't think of his name now. The one that was based off
Slice and Dice. It wasn't that one, was it?
No, I didn't even pre-order that. I can't even
Sci-Fi?
No, the one that Stephen King's son helped design the vintage figure.
Globulus and the
No,
Cobra Law guys.
No, he's the magician or something like that. Anyway, he was on
Crystal Ball.
Crystal Ball, yeah, I cancelled
Yeah.
Crystal Ball.
Yeah, I didn't get Crystal Ball either. No.
Like my interest will just like we've got other companies out there that do. Now, again, this is all to do with specific people, specific tastes, and what they're into, right? But I can go and buy a Valaverse figure and get just as much enjoyment out of it. I can go and what Fresh Monkey Fiction are doing at the moment is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I can go and I'm really excited about some of the prospects they have. Okay, they are a little bit dearer, but they're not going to be throwing me 20, 30 figures a year. It's going to be a wave of 6 within the year.
Yeah.
So I'll eat the cost and enjoy that wave and save it and take time with it. And so more and more, I feel I'm kind of moving away from these franchises where, as Kat so perfectly put it, we're being charged for nostalgia, moving to newer products, newer companies where I can get the exact same utility and enjoyment from them for less price, less commitment, and less, pre-ordering and having this massive bill hanging over you when stuff is going to ship, and
Rob says here, modern started making collecting not fun for me. Fully turned to vintage, might pay a bit more, but it's still there. But I think the prices for modern and vintage are more or less getting equal now.
They are really equal. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. And in some cases, I think you can get more for your money out of vintage if you're doing it. If you're willing to be patient and really hunt and look, and take your time with things, you're gonna be able to. And the other thing is with like Dino Geekstrong and I were talking about this the other day. The other thing about collecting vintage is you have a finite amount. So like with some lines, like if you go, I want to get Clash of the Titans, you've got like 9 figures or something. If you go, I want to collect Tron, you've got 4 figures and 2 vehicles. You know what I mean? So you've got your collection ends at a certain point.
Yeah, there's a definitive start and finish point.
Yes, whereas with modern, and even if you go into something like G.I. Joe or Star Wars, you go, there's 96 figures I want to collect. Or with G.I. Joe, you go, I want to do 82 to 85, and that's it. So like, okay, there's 100 figures I got to track down. You know what I mean? You're not, it might sound like a lot, but you've got a number that you're looking for and a certain set that you're going for. And
no, Des has just mentioned that. He says you know exactly what there is to collect.
Yes.
When it goes to vintage, which I understand. Yeah.
It's kind of funny you talk about that, John, because I actually found one of my Grail pieces a couple of weeks ago when my sister's partner's mum and that come over. We went to her. Si's been to this place. He's been to Livingston, big shopping centre. There's a charity shop in there. My sister's partner's mum, she loves charity shops. She went in. Both of us went in, and she had a wee quick look at the toys. My future nephew was there as well. She pulled this figure out of a box.
Oh yeah, he's a
nice.
Yeah.
She pulled it out of the box. That's the first time I've seen that. I've seen him in the wild. I've not even seen him at any of the toy fairs or Comic Cons that I got here.
Talking about what's a good price for them. Si, you're banging to these, aren't you? You love these.
Yeah, the Street Fighter stuff is really good.
Yeah, and it's good to see a few new reveals. And even though like they're doing paint swaps and they're doing paint swaps of like Player 2 figures, which is great. You know what I mean? The other colour ones. I know it's coming to the end of it now. There's not many more to go. But, when you talk about value for money and you talk about, again, paint jobs and articulation and all this other crap you need to come out with to brainwash into buying expensive figures, for the price of these figures, I've been so happy with these.
How much are they, Si? How much? I've never bought one, so
on average, I've been picking these up for at least between £20 and £25. But like I showed Connor last night, the 2 oversized ones that I need to pick up, which is Blanca and Sagat, they're oversized figures. Yet they're cheaper than what I paid for these ones. They're $21.99. So I'm like, it can be done. Street Fighter is a worldwide license. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people know Street Fighter. It can be done. And sometimes I look at the garbage that Star Wars give us over the past 10 years, and I'm like, you've got a nerve to even be doing these sort of Haslabs, never mind charging what you're charging. Do you know what I mean? They're very lucky that the fan base is still there. Why take the piss out of them when they are? That's what I just don't get. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Si, will you stop writing as me in the chat? So, I just saw my name in the chat like that. That's not me, PJ. So I was like,
I'm just
happy
it's
birthday.
PGM. He's 56, so happy birthday, 56 already. That's brilliant.
Tony C says, I'm not a completist. I have most of the vintage kenners and play sets that will do me. Jay, the toys are doing great with it. They look like it. Jay, I think that one did that win Action Figure of the Year, the Street Fighter one? So it was up there, wasn't it? Everyone seemed to really enjoy him, size.
Well, I love our community, and when it comes to the Christmas time, and we all seem to do Action Figures of the Year and stuff. Again, mine, as well as a few people's last year, was them Street Fighter figures. Do you know what I mean? They're that good.
Yeah,
they're
just fun. They're just they feel like toys. They look like toys. They're just a fun product, and you don't feel robbed when you pick one up. You don't feel like you've been fleeced.
Is it?
If everybody knows me, man, they know that I love a good bargain. I always go to the charity shops. I always go to the.
You never said.
But I actually went to a charity shop a couple of weeks back and this bad boy.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
nice.
What's that? Red Hulk.
Red Hulk.
That's how Jen's Shabby Geek in the morning.
Even though we were looking forward to this line, they only done 4 figures.
Yeah.
And then I also found a film in a loose Hiachi as well.
Yeah, Games Dimension.
I was quite surprised at stuff that I've actually seen more and more good stuff coming into charity shops, but they want a little bit more than what you would normally pay.
What do you think of this? I love this.
It's a cool set, but again, I just thought it was too much money.
$130 over here. $130.
And these 6-inch or Black Series?
This is Black Series.
Black Series. What's annoying me is a big sell. Now, it's a beautiful set, and I possibly will get it. I haven't dropped the pre-order yet. I'm thinking about it. But the selling point for this is they now come with butterfly joints. Why didn't they always come with butterfly joints?
Yeah.
It's just madness. And it's anyway. Look, it's a gorgeous set from such an iconic scene in the movie.
Yeah. What do you think of these things they're doing? Because they've also done it with this now, the Empire Strikes Back one. And I like these little diorama sets that they're doing. There's not much you can do as a playset wise for Black Series. So I kind of like this one.
Years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
What's holding me off of this, I still can't get confirmation if that Vader's got butterfly joints or not. I want to pre-order this. I probably will, but what will certainly push me over the definite line is
does he have a wired cape?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
the only
it's a
difference,
wired
this
cape.
is a re-release of the Vader. The only difference, Connor, is it comes with a wired cape, but it's the same Vader.
But did they not say it's an updated Vader? But left
no,
it
they
at
said
that?
the only thing updated on it was the wired cape. That's it. As
Because
far as I
I've
know,
got like 7 Vaders.
But can you take the helmet off with that one, though, Shabby?
yeah, I think you can do. I mean, you can with most of them, can't you? So, but that I like this. I like the battle damaged Luke. I think that looks really cool.
Yeah,
and I
it
do
looks-
like these little sets, but I do believe that $130. It's a big
Yeah,
price,
there we
man.
go.
This I love. Absolutely love this figure.
Yeah.
Well, that I
The
did
Bounty
see that.
Hunter
That is
Ventress
neat.
is great. Yeah. I
Bounty
was
Hunter
saying that
Ventress, yeah.
years ago. I said they need to do the Bounty Hunter Ventress with the helmet. And then
Look
finally,
at
Mr. Listen, John.
Yeah.
He obviously overheard you.
Yeah.
I don't think they listened to me, but it's good that they did it.
I
But
think the
again,
last
I
Black
mean,
Series I figure I bought was that Captain Bordis? The Lack character.
yeah, I agree with
I
Jonathan.
can't
He
remember
says
what
it,
last Black Series figure I bought now. So long ago.
well, you should get these ones, Jace. You should get
Nah.
130 quid, Jace. You know, it says
Yeah,
the best thing looks awesome.
I'm 3.75 scale for these days.
Yeah, he's
I'll
staying
take
with that.
that.
I know.
That was the
We've
last-
heard.
That was the last Black Series figure I've bought in a while.
That's a
That was
cool
the one I
figure.
wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Brutus.
great
Yeah, it is a
figure.
nice figure. Yeah, but $130, it's a bit pricey. Now, I agree with
Hey,
Jonathan.
what
Here.
happened?
If he would have come with a little bit of a walkway, that would have been awesome because he is on the floor, isn't he? When he says, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he- you know.
There should have been a walkway part sticking out from that. And then they have the part that he hangs off of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually picked up a couple of figures, Shabby, and I just want your guys' opinion on them if you think they were actually worth the money. One of them is one of my favourite characters, so I had to pick them up no matter what. So I picked up these.
The Spin Masters. Oh, yeah.
These are Spin Masters.
Yeah.
But it's kind of based off the
Ninja animated one. Yeah.
Ninja anime.
Yeah, that's
just going to get the Joker because he was the last one on the shelf.
Yeah, they did. They did the second movie. The second movie's out now.
So I decided just that Joker needs a Batman. Despite they didn't do Harley Quinn yet, but they have done Robin and they've done Nightwing as well.
Yeah.
But would you say these are worth 10 quid?
Oh,
the
hell
toys,
yeah.
so yeah, 10 quid's good. All the accessories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth 10
quite
quid.
late, man. It's like they went with like the turtle idea because the turtles all had come with like the sprue with all their weapons attached to it.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of bits here you've got to add to the figures anyway to kind of make them a bit bigger. But
yeah,
I seen for a tenner, it's like I'm definitely buying Joker.
Tony Z says those big bad toy companies, they have us they have us by the knackers, but just
my local comic book shop has got a figure in that I really want, and they're doing it really cheaper than what I think it's worth. But it's a Hot Toys Joker, but it's a black and white version. I think it's the Jack Nicholson one.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm tempted to go and buy that. Like,
what's this that you wanted to show? What's this one?
Oh yeah, the Chun-Li.
I've never heard of Starman. So are these Hot Toy size? Or what are
no,
these?
they're not Hot Toys. They're full silicone figures, but 12-inch size. Yeah, no, I wish they were. That's what I've been after a Chun-Li. I bought a Chun-Li from Starman, and I was after this jumpsuit. The one I've got is the full suit, and I wanted the martial arts suit of this. And it's sold out everywhere. And if you start looking for these now of that suit, you're looking at least 300 to 400 quid. They're getting that expensive. So
what size are these? What size are they?
The 12-inch.
12-inch, right? Got you.
Yes, at Comic-Con, they've shown you that they're doing another 3 different outfits for this Chun-Li, and it's going to be on a bigger release because the figure just sold out immediately, and I can't get my hands on it. So I was so happy I'm not bothered which outfit I'm buying Chun-Li. Do you know what I mean? I'm just happy I can now get my hands on this version. So it's good to see that's released.
Yeah.
They are about £200 to buy. They are. The eyes are all movable and things like that and everything. And the body's full silicone with a metal skeleton. But yeah, I'm so glad now that I can actually get my hands on this version of Chun-Li.
Never seen it before, size. Awesome.
They're 12-inch because they don't come with a power cord.
That's it. And that's how this bigger one is. When that's the figures I collect. So to have a full size one like that, metal skeleton, a lot of silicone, I can't wait.
So before we go, because we've been on for just go through what are your highlights of the past month and for toys and exclusives and things that have been revealed. So Si, I'll start with you. What was your highlight?
There's quite a few highlights, but again, we didn't really have time to go through them all. So, we'll probably do another part 2 to this, actually, because there's a lot like not spoken about. But again, for me, it was quite a deflating Comic-Con. It wasn't like the normally like the massive news that we seem to get, a big drop that nobody knows about. But, there were some nice reveals.
What did you think of this reveal?
Yeah, I loved it. The Magic of the Gathering Spider-Man. Yeah. But again, that's probably going to be a 60 quid figure when that comes out. But it's the first time like we've had a Spider-Man in that sort of.
Yeah, Magic the Gathering is going to want $20 just for that card alone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be, this might be more than $60.
But it's still Marvel Legends, as I can see. So again, this is another collab like we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't understand what the collab is there because it looks like Spider-Man. So I don't understand what the actual collab is on that one. It's
just that there's a Marvel character in Magic the Gathering that's playable. It's a playable card that you can use in your deck. Right. It's more a collab going the other direction. It's a
great looking Spider-Man though. It's a really nice looking Spider-Man figure.
They did a G.I. Joe set and they did a Transformers set. So they've done Did they do Harry Potter? I don't know if they've done Harry Potter, but they did Dr. Who as well, I believe. They did Dungeons and Dragons. So I mean, Magic the Gathering has gone off the deep end. They did Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? So they've incorporated all these other franchises into, and it was only a matter of time before they brought Marvel into Magic the Gathering. You know.
Another thing I watched this show was this, that I'm not a McFarlane thing. So what's this?
Oh, that's the Kingdom Come. Yeah, can't wait for that Superman to be released. It's one of the greatest DC comic books ever written. That. So when I saw that, I thought that looks so much, and I absolutely love that Superman. So that's a definite when that comes out. And then again, this is the light editions, and where we were talking about the maximums for for Marvel Legends, it looks like the light edition is going to be their version of that, because there's a Tana figure we've been after for quite a long time, and it's released and it's got a few accessories and stuff. Well, this figure is $49.99, which is a massive jump up, nearly half of McFarlane.
Yeah, that's a big jump, isn't it?
And this was a bit of a concern because they didn't show any of this for the past year, and people were like, was it been stopped? Is it going ahead? When the news came out that McFarlane had lost the DC license, but obviously shown at Comic-Con, it was still coming.
These ones have cloth parts on them, right?
Yeah. This will be a set, I would say, McFarlane, that as soon as you see, put down straight away, because this will not.
Yeah, they've really short-changed
disappear. Yeah, and again, that we're looking at the duck for it. Yeah, can't wait for that.
That's so cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I loved this figure. I saw DTM with it, and you got it, Si. So I thought I'll have to get this Christopher Reeve one. So, and I've never spent money on if I find one, it's always at Ollie's or something like that. But this I had to get hold of. But so you're happy about these Batman Return ones? You're happy with, and this must finish it off then. If this is winter 2025, must be only at GameStop and EB Games. So. Right, okay.
Well, I think it lasts up to February. I don't think they lose the license till February next year. I think it's after February then it all stops. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I think McFarlane will be pulling figures out till at least June, July next year.
I may have to come out collecting and just create what I have, but I won't leave. Yeah, you better not leave. Yeah, we'll be happy about that. Baz, what was your exactly? Yeah, what was your highlights, Baz, from what you've seen?
Probably Battlestar Galactica. I quite like the idea of that.
Cool, yeah.
And
Jason, what did you think of them as well after Baz? I'll ask you, Jason, about those Battlestar Galacticas because you're a fan. But go on, Baz, sorry.
Battlestar Galactica, I like some of the new He-Man figures that got released, like Dragstar and all that, man. Those things just look... Dragstar just looked amazing.
Yeah, they really were. Yeah. What did you think of them, Jace? Those Battlestar Galacticas?
When I saw them, I thought, really good. And I hope they're regularly available in, shops where I can get them. And not online orders, because they'll probably sit down. It'd be nice to see them in person or at Comic Cons where they'd be on demand. I think it's on demand that you get in the UK and some other places. And it'd be nice because I've got some of the vintage, and let's hope they do the Cylons in chrome, because that's the way they was on the show. And they did do them in chrome back in the day. And you've got to have the Cylon Raider as well. If you've got the Viper, you've got to do the Cylon Raider as well.
That's right. I remember what that shit was cried at, is it? It's a Raider.
John, what was your highlight? What was your highlights that you've seen? Not necessarily what we've shown tonight, what you fancy.
Yeah, I do like the Battlestar Galactica stuff, and I would almost be all in on that, but I just got to wait to see how much they want to charge for that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
I'm scared that each figure is going to be $20 to $25, and the ship's going to be well over like $150, $200 or something. And then I'm not going to buy them. I'm out if they're that pricey, But if they're reasonable, I mean, if those figures come out and they're $14.99 or $12.99 is even better, then I'll be like all in on them.
Yeah.
But it just depends on the price, and I think they look brilliant. I actually think everything I saw at Comic-Con this year looks brilliant.
Yeah,
they all are top-notch,
I agree.
Well done things. And if you're into collecting them, more power to you. If you can afford it, go get them. But for me, I think the biggest thing that I would like to find is the Hot Wheels Bone Crusher Transformer.
Yeah.
Because every year when they make a new Bone Crusher, I've been collecting them in the Hot Wheels set because they're $1. You know what I mean? So every year I try to get the new Bone Crusher that comes out with the set, and doing that as a Transformer, and he also looks great in robot mode. I mean, that thing looks fantastic.
I did forget to say that one, John, as well. I want that Bone Crusher as well. That Transformer looks amazing.
Yeah, the packaging looks great on that one. They've gone back to like a bubble card packaging, you know, and it's in car mode in the packaging. So I think it looks great. So if I see that at Target or Walmart somewhere in the future, I'll get it. But I'm not ordering it from Pulse, and that's the only place you can get it right now. But
that's the only thing. It's exactly what John just said about that Fat 27. What Gab's saying, it depends because the stuff they make is kind of pricey. So we'll see.
Yeah.
What are you going to say, Baz?
I was just kind of looking at that custom kind of thing that I'm doing, right? Now, if I can make something like that, just why can Hasbro or any other toy company not come up with a character like that? I was just kind of looking at it, and it's like, you know what? That's just like was it the Galactic Warriors? What were they called? You know,
Silent Warrior.
No, you know, like the knockoff He-Man figures. What was?
Yeah, they were Galaxy Warriors.
Galaxy Warriors and stuff. Yeah.
I've technically think to me, I've just created my own version of a Galaxy. What now? If I could do that, why can other toy companies not do that?
I agree. Yeah. Jonathan says those Battlestar Galactica figures need to come on car backs if the box them out. Connor, what was your highlight? What the Cold Slither thing? Did you like that, Connor? The rock band thing that was pretty cool.
The highlight for me was the Battlestar Galactica figures because they weren't expected. None of us knew they were coming, and I think we all had the same reaction when we saw the photo of the big. We're like, oh my god, you know, because it was such an iconic show from back in the day. I think overall it was disappointing for me, and I know that's going to sound strange, but it's kind of like Comic-Con should, like, it's such a big one that it should be like this is what's bringing out for the year. And I think what took the wind out of the sails for me was the G.I. Joe panel was the one I was really looking forward to, and they've done a couple of reels and more than their September stream. And I was like, what? And then there's going to be a pre-Christmas. There was only, you know, Yo Joe, June, and there just seems to be streams and announcements, and it's just taking the wind out of the sails. Where Comic-Con used to be, this is what's coming out over the next 12 months, and you know, you get excited about it. But when they're saying, you know, here's a couple of pictures or photographs of what it's going to look like, and we'll show you more in a few months' time, it just takes just like I said, takes the wind out of the sails for me. So, like that said, like everything you saw was enjoyable to look at, and you know, exciting because you know it's toys. We're all into them. You mightn't collect them, but you're happy to see them. But the biggest surprise for me was those Battlestar figures. Like everyone said, like John said, you know, I don't collect 3 3/4 inch, but for something like that, you know, if the price is right and it's not going to be a massive kind of collection, you dip into it.
Yeah, I agree. I think because, like I said, I stopped collecting 3 3/4 inch since the TBC's first. Well, I got about the first 100 of them. I just stopped, and then I went into 6 inch and what have you. But I think those Battlestar Galacticas, they will be cool. Do you know what I mean? Because it can't be a massive line, can it, Jason? They can't make tons of Battlestar Galactica stuff. Well, how much was in the vintage?
Yeah. If they want to go into orbit, there's quite a lot of characters they can probably do, and I could say they could probably even rival. You know that word. Against Star Wars. So we say there's probably over 96 characters, but if you want to get the main characters, I would say about 20.
There'd be a stretch if they. I think doing 90 figures would be a big stretch. I think there's like 20 or 30.
If you look in the Battlestar Galactica and you watch the first couple of episodes, you can see there is loads of characters, and you can even get more than that. If you know, there is lots of characters. There is a lot.
I tell you what else was cool though, for the same company. Did you see the Cylon helmet that they did, and the Airwolf helmet as well?
Oh,
they were both great as well.
Beautiful. I mean, like I said, for some reason, I've never heard of Factory Entertainment, and then I went to the website, like I said at the start of the stream, and wow, man, I was blown away. Some of the stuff,
some good stuff. Yeah.
But it is
If
priced.
they happen to be watching this stream, can we just ask for a life-size Jane Seymour? Thank you very much. That's our one request. Thank you. Thank you. I
Life-size
appreciate
Jane
that.
Seymour. Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Thank you all so. I've loved this. Thank you all so much. It's been great. We've all had different opinions, different outlooks, but we've all got on. Yes, Connor.
I just want to say one thing on the phone. So I'm not going to go into any details. It's none of my business. A lot of us know Brian from Brian's Action Figures underwent a big operation recently.
Yes, he did.
His mum phoned me there only before, but that's delayed getting on. I was talking to her, and he just wanted her to convey the message onto everybody. Anyone that's reached out, he really appreciate it. He's doing good, and he's coming on, and things are looking great. And he just wanted to say thanks for everyone that's been thinking of him, reaching out, sending messages, and I just want to pass again. I'll just leave it at that. I'm only passing the message on.
No, that's
Best news of the year. Best news of the year.
It is because we've all thought about him and we've all asked about him and so on. So that's brilliant, Connor. No, thanks for sharing that, Connor. That's awesome of you. So get well soon, Brian, and we'll see you back soon. Every one of these gentlemen, except for our size with me, but the lovely Baz, the lovely Connor, the lovely John, and the lovely Jason all have their own YouTube channel. So check them all out. That'd be awesome. But thanks for a lovely chat tonight, lads. I've really, really enjoyed it. Anything else? I've got ZSR coming up on Friday on Matt's channel, but does anyone have anything coming up? John's Christmas in July on Sunday.
No, we just did the one Christmas in July last week, and that's all we're doing.
we
ran out of July. And I was busy all month, and so we just did one July banger, and that's it. Yeah.
Rumpio gets live stream. I think we made some good points tonight. I think it's been awesome. Yeah, great. Everyone's appearance and announcements on SDC. Nice to while away the evening. Great stream, Shabby. And thank you very much. I appreciate everybody joining in and tuning in. Anybody else got anything you want to say before we go?
I have a blood pressure and cholesterol test coming up on Friday, so stay posted and I'll let you all know the results.
There you go.
Breaking news on ZSR. Baz, what are you going to say, Baz?
I was going to say, me and Dave will be back doing our live streams on a Thursday. We're just taking a little break at the moment. I've got a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of family stuff kind of in the background sorting out kind of thing. Dad's not keeping too well with the news, so that's where the majority of my time's kind of gone. But there is one thing. I did pick up quite a random thing on Saturday.
Right.
And I might need a little bit of help from folk in the chat to see how I could actually make this work.
Right.
So I went to it's Clyde Fife's War boot. It was basically 40k, all that. But there was one guy selling this. He was selling it for 20 quid, but I got it down to a tenner.
What is it?
It's an ODST 3D.
Is that Halo? Is that Halo?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this was kind of a random pickup. It's not wearable, but the guy says I could kind of cut it, but I don't know how to actually.
Put it on.
He doesn't say it, doesn't he?
Still a bit. Never get it.
That's why you can never take the helmet off in the game.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do is because we're going to quit now. If anyone's got anything on comments for Baz, just leave in the comments what Baz can do with that. What Baz can do.
This was kind of random. I just seen it and I was like, that's actually cool.
There you go. Turn it into a Battlestar Galactica helmet. Like
there you go. Right. Yeah.
PGM says sex dolls for life, right? Side. Sorry, he means action figures.
I'm going to buy one that looks just like you. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do with it, PGM.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. We'll see you soon. I'll see you on ZSR on Friday. See you, everyone.
Stay awesome.